In the year 2002, I was no-knock raided by the Chief of Police, Michael Moore, of LAPD with an entire SWAT team twice in the same month. Since that date, I began studying the history of America and constitutional law. I am an autodidactic constitutional law scholar. Over the past couple years, what I've done is I've been able to devise a system, understanding that the police have created a very rigid set of policies, procedures, and protocols that they use to arrest you. I've also created a very rigid set of policies, procedures, and protocols for you to follow that gives you back the power when you're forced to interact with these jackboot thug pigs. It has become a tyrannical jackboot thug police state, prison state, death state. I will win the governorship and I will change the policies from the top down.
Hi, I'm Corporal Wayne with the Talkie County Sheriff's Office. The reason I pulled you over is you don't have any tail lights on.
So cops got me pulled over. First thing I'm going to do when I start recording is I'm going to put this hand right here. You see that? You see how that works? This hand is now up in the air. My camera is going to bright up the sky. So if it's nighttime, then the coppers can see that the camera is in my hand. You can see that my hand is here. The other hand goes up into the window. I'm in touchdown position right here. My hands look like they're a goalpost. This hand is actually, I took my little miniature armrest right here. I put it up right here. Bam. This is how I use my trifold. If anything happens to me, I'm all set right here. Okay, now that I got this like this, my camera's rolling. Most important thing. Second thing, my elbow goes in the windowsill right there. Do you see that? My elbow goes in the windowsill right there. There it is, right there. Now, with this hand up in the air and this hand up in the windowsill right here, I'm all set. I'm all set. The most I'm going to do is take the same hand right here, reach down and slightly roll my window down just a scooch. I'm all set up. I'm in touchdown position. This hand is rolling camera. This hand is up here so that I can reach up and grab my trifold and my proof of identification and my license. Everything is up in my visor. When that copper comes up to my window and he says, "Do you know why I pulled you over? Do you know how fast you were going? How come you didn't pull over right away?" If he says, "Hey, can I get your license, registration, and proof of insurance?" Great, because this hand is not going to have a camera in it. The one that I got my hand in now, my camera's in this hand over here. I'm in touchdown position, just like a goalpost. Now from right here, I'm going to reach over and I'm going to, with the same hand that this phone's in, I'm going to reach over and grab my license, registration, and proof of insurance that is in my trifold right here. It's inside my trifold. Here's my license, registration, and proof of insurance right there. I got everything right there. See how that works? I'm just going to slide that bad chicken out. There's everything I have to provide by law right there. License, registration, proof of insurance. I have everything right next to my trifold. Now, no matter what he says from there, I don't care what he says. How fast were you going? Are you going to your grandma's house? Are you the big bad wolf? No matter what he says, I'm not going to answer any of his questions. I take my license, registration, proof of insurance that will be in my left hand, and I give it to him. You got it on video?
Not your actual.
No, that's not that, but that's got my DL number right on the top.
Okay.
D1940.
So you have your actual driver's license?
Well, I mean, that is an actual photocopy of my driver's license, a laser copy. Actually, if I take the rest of the tape off there, it looks prettier than my actual driver's license. There you go. I don't want to deal with he didn't identify himself. He didn't have his registration. He didn't have his current ID. He didn't have his current insurance card. No. I have everything ready to go. It's right here with the same hand right here. I'm going to take it like this, and I'm just going to slip my information right out the cracked window for that jackboot thug pig. Put it in the comment section. JBTP, jackboot thug pig. Put it in the comment section. I don't have a back and forth with the pig. I don't do that. I do not have a back and forth with that pig. Where are you going? Where are you heading? All that? No. I'm not going to answer any questions. I'm not even going to entertain it. Not going to nod, nothing. I'm going to give him my license, registration, proof of insurance. I'm just going to slip it right there. That's how it's going to work. Here's my license, my registration, and my proof of insurance. Here's the insurance. Here's the rental car agreement. And my driver's license is right here. If you're poor and white or black or brown, don't reach around because you could die. It's a real thing. It's a reality here. So now I'm not going to get myself killed because I didn't follow a very rigid set of policies, procedures, and protocols. I'm recording everything with my phone from over here. Everything's being recorded. You see that? The phone is facing me, so my head is the most important thing. Now, once I've given him my license, registration, and proof of insurance, I'm filming everything. He asked me where I'm going. I say I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent.
Okay.
If you ask me another question, you're violating my rights, and I'll file a lawsuit against you. Write your ticket, do what you're going to do, but don't harass me any further.
Your Honor, I'm showing him on camera that I'm invoking my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. Piggy loses qualified immunity for questioning me. Say it with me. Piggy loses qualified immunity for questioning me. This is how it goes. This is the way it is. Now, if he says, where are you going? Where are you coming from? Do you have a firearm in the car? I'm then going to take my trifold and point at it, and I'm going to go down the list of questions. Don't ask me where I'm going. Don't ask me where I'm been. Don't ask me what my favorite color is. Don't ask me if I have a firearm. Don't ask me if I've been drinking. It says everything right there on your freaking trifold. You don't have to answer any questions. He says, where are you coming from? And I say, Your Honor, I have shown the pig at the window that I clearly have identified that I've invoked my Fifth Amendment, and he already asked me where I'm going. He's violated my Fifth Amendment right. I'm showing him on video. It's on the literature. Your Honor, this is for my federal civil rights lawsuit. If I was you, pig, I would just go write your ticket. That's what I would do if I was you, pig.
Get the hell out of my face. There's everything you need. Go on.
That's what I would. If I was you, piggy, I would go and write your ticket. This is how it works. This is how you use your trifold completely. This is the way you do it. There's no other way that I've taught. This is how you do it. Phone goes here. Elbow goes here. Trifold, identification. Everything is up in the visor here. I'm ready to go. These bootlicking troll channels, they sat down and they did the math one time and they said, well, Chile, if he sells 20 trifolds in a day, that's some pretty good money. Why would he live so poor? Why wouldn't he spend some money? Why wouldn't he go and do some things? Well, you jack off nobody. It's because I have a mission. There's a purpose here. My purpose is to get a trifold in every single car in America. The mission is to get the Fifth Amendment cop cards in everybody's wallet. The yellow and blue cards only come out when there's a pig in front of you. That's when the yellow and blue cards come out. You don't pull the yellow and blue cards out until there's a pig in front of you. You memorize the cards so you know it backwards and forward. But this is how you do it. This is how you do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the new redesigned Fifth Amendment cop card. Now, the driver card is in blue and the non-driver card is in yellow. Now, they're easily color-coded, so you know driving is blue, non-driving is yellow. You have to have a pair of Fifth Amendment cop cards in your wallet at all times. If you carry your credit cards, you absolutely do. What is going on? What is going on out there in the land of the unfree America? Chuck Bronson is here. What the flock is going on? What's going on, Chuck Bronson? Brandy is here. What is going on? How is everybody? I'm sorry. The Fifth Amendment cop cards are going out for free with the trifold. So you guys just saw the promo. I'm going to keep it going. The Fifth Amendment cop cards, when you get the trifold, I'm giving them to you for free, 100%. So I want to jump into today's video. Couple things. You know what? We'll talk about it at the end. If you guys want to stick around at the end, I'll tell you guys some stuff. But I want to jump right into today's video because if you don't know, Apree got arrested, and who put a one in the chat if you guys know who Apree is. Whoops, sorry about that. So this is Apree's arrest video right here. Control copy. Let me put this bad chicken in right here. So this is Apree getting arrested in Florida, and
stop. Oh, for the tints.
I know you. You're
Apree, yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
I'm heading to the gym.
Okay, here's the deal, bud. Are you under the influence of anything?
No, sir.
Not at all?
Nope.
Haven't taken anything?
No.
Okay.
Pre-workout.
You take any
No,
pre-workout?
no.
Okay.
1001.
Keep that foot parallel to the ground. Point your toe out. There you go.
1001, 1002, 1003. Can I like say? I'm a good dude. Can I stand here for a second? I'm not gonna like.
What you can do is you can scoot more that way and spread your legs out. Sorry, bud. So yesterday you stopped him, correct?
Stopped him for tinted windshield. He said he didn't realize it.
Yep.
Had him checking David. He had 4 prior citations. I read him a 5th, and I also wrote him.
How's it going?
Doing officer good. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm Swanson Police Department. Reason for the stop is the windshield tint, okay?
Oh yes, sir.
All right, you got your driver's license?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to clarify. I'm gonna have to resolve the situation because I got a little court thing coming up for it.
Okay, for what?
For the freaking tints.
For the tint?
Yeah, so I got to see like a judge in like a couple weeks.
Okay, why is that?
Oh, because they pulled me over for the. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, I understand though. It's like against. You're not supposed to have any tint on the thing, and it's like below a certain line, the ABS line or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I got one line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, where you coming?
Oh no, I was just sleeping. So I'm
You
going.
sleeping?
Yeah.
So, okay, you don't want to answer any questions at all. I'm going to get into this. I'm sorry. There's just, when I see it, I get frustrated because whenever you answer a question, what she just did right here, you just give them ammunition against you.
The ABS line or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
I got
one line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, where you coming?
Where are you coming from? And then he says something, he answers a question in some way, and you just don't ever.
Oh no, I was just sleeping. So I'm going.
Sleeping?
Yeah, so I'm just going to the gym now.
Okay.
And you don't even tell him that you're sleeping. You don't tell him anything. I don't even look at him because he's looking at him, and then they're going to say that he looks impaired because he has big eyes. He's a big dude.
You stay at the Airbnb?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. We have the registration and insurance.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. And there.
What kind of supplements do you take for the gym?
I try not to do too many supplements, but I do like chicken and rice shakes. I know that sounds weird.
Yeah.
But I prefer like animal protein as opposed to like whey protein because it's not as natural.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
So trying to be their friend will not work. Put a 1 in the chat if you know for a fact that trying to be their friend or humanize with them, it simply won't work.
Okay.
But I honestly don't know because this says like where is it? It says expired, but everything's all up to date. I don't know if you can look it up in the system or anything.
Okay. I'll go take a look. All right, just hang tight for a minute.
All right, take it down.
All right. Hey, how you doing, brother?
How you doing, Sergeant?
I'm doing
What's up, man?
fantastic. What are you stopping for?
Oh, for the tints.
I know you. You're
203, yeah. How you doing, man?
all right.
I'm sending to the gym.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand though. I know it's the thing.
What do you said window tint?
Yeah.
Did you measure it already?
Oh no, not yet.
Where's it halfway out? So raise your window about.
Oh yeah.
So there it is right there. Why does he want him to raise his tint up? He wants him to raise his tint up so that he can charge him with a crime. You trying to be nice to these people simply won't work.
I got you.
That's all.
Take your time.
He's on his way to the gym. He's taking pre-workout.
He just said he's on his way to the gym. He's taking pre-workout, but that's not what he said.
Oh, well, search him then. You're on 31. You see the pre-workout
Search him then.
out of 31 speed.
It's either pre-workout or it's speed. He's on drugs because they said he's on drugs.
Search him then. You're on 31. You see the pre-workout of 31 speed.
That's so.
Yeah,
That's so ridiculous. So how and we're going to answer this question right now. Answer the question for me. Is Apree an actor or is he an activist? And I'll give you my thoughts at the end because I put a lot of thought into this. It took me all of 2 seconds to come up with the answer. Is he an actor or is he an activist? And I'm going to give you what I think at the end.
There, you can see the bloodshot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's either coke or meth. Can I check his window tint? So check his window tint.
Multiple times for the windshield.
Yeah, I gotta see the judge here.
Go to the gym and take a pre-workout.
I asked him if he took any supplements. He said no.
Search him, it's either pre-workout or 31 speed.
Yeah, because that's not because I've seen pre-workout. His eyes are not pre-workout. They're you see the bloodshot, like the vessels.
They just decided because his eyes look a certain way.
On coke.
He's on coke, is what they say.
They're pinpointing. You see the bloodshot, like the vessels. He's on coke. He's on coke. We're on that. Huh? Yeah. Well, I stopped him. I stopped for the windshield. So you've been stopped multiple times.
Yes, sir.
Multiple times for the windshield.
Yeah, I gotta see the judge. Here's my.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me when you have like 7 citations for it.
Yeah, I know. I gotta see the judge that's coming up here on the 15th. I think it's like the 14th.
Okay.
So he's probably gonna make me take it all off or whatever.
Yeah, if you're
Otherwise, he's gonna suspend my license.
1%. Okay, here's the deal, bud. Are you under the influence of anything?
No, sir.
Not at all.
Nope.
Haven't taken anything?
No.
Okay.
Pre-workout.
Did you take any pre-workout?
No.
Okay. All right. So what I'm gonna have you do is just charge the vehicle for me and step out. Okay. Right now I have 1%. Okay. Here's the deal, bud.
Take it all off or whatever.
Yeah. If
Otherwise, he's gonna suspend my license.
1%. Okay. Here's the deal, bud. Are you under the influence of anything?
No, sir.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay. So you answering that question will not alleviate that cop's suspicion of you. You answering a question about whether you're on chemicals or not will not alter the cop's perspective of you. What's the cop's goal? What is the cop's goal? What does the cop want to do? Put it in the comment section for me. Tell me what the cop wants to do. Tell me what does this cop want to do? What does he does he want to do? What is he holding on for? What fingers crossed, like, man, like I really hope that this happens. What is it that is the cop is hoping? Oh, please let this happen. What's the one thing he wants to do?
Nope.
Haven't taken anything?
No.
Okay.
Pre-workout.
Did you take any pre-workout?
No.
Okay. All right. So what I'm gonna have you do is just charge the vehicle for me and step out. Okay. Right now I have reason to believe that you may be under the influence. I want to run you through some field sobriety exercises to determine that. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right, when you step out, I'm going to pat you down really quick, okay?
All right, so can I wear my hat?
Yeah, just keep the hat off for me, okay?
All right.
For now,
Just face it off for me, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Take your hands, put them on top of your head.
Awesome.
For now, you
Just
can wear
face it off for me. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Take your hands, put them on top of your head.
Awesome.
I mean, Apree is a beast. He's a dude. He would not be someone you just want to take on.
This isn't moonshine, is it?
No, sir. That's water. You can test it if you want.
Yeah, can I check the car?
Yeah. Oh, well, no, I don't consent to any searches and seizures, but that's water.
Well, I gotta check it to see if it's water.
You want me to get it out?
You want me to consent to any searches or seizures right now?
No, I don't.
Walk over here then.
Okay. No, I understand where you're coming from. It's water, so I got you. Okay. No, I understand where you're coming from. It's water, so I got you.
All right. Right there's good. Right there's good.
All right.
All right.
So him telling the cop it's cool, it's water, that cop is not going to believe him no matter what he says. He's against you. His goal is to arrest you.
Yeah, we have not utilized anything, right?
I'm sorry?
We have not utilized any types of narcotics, drugs, alcohol, anything like that.
No, sir.
No, not at all?
No, sir.
Not at all.
Not at all. I haven't.
Okay.
So he's cop-splaining. There's the hands moving.
Hey, I'm gonna take.
As we know, what is there always? There's always they're going to let you know the reason why this was going on the way it was going on for you, and we have to explain this to you so you understand what we're doing, what we're saying. That's what that is right there.
Come over to the sidewalk over here. We're gonna do it over there. So let's walk over here, okay?
All right, sounds good.
Hey, can you stay 10-12 with them when we grab the stuff?
Mike hates pigs. You got it. This next cop, where the cop gets to tell you where to go, where to stand, what you can do, what you can't do.
How many tickets you got for 10?
I forgot, but so I have to see the judge. Like I was saying, I think it's like the 14th of August. So I mean,
You just got it. You just got one yesterday, right?
yeah. So freaking, I gotta take all this stuff off. The judge is probably gonna make me take it all off. I don't know. Maybe you're familiar with the process, but I mean, obviously it can't continue because you guys are like,
there's just the guy you stopped yesterday, and
Do you see that? Okay. So if you're not paying attention, listen carefully to the words. This is I'm going to try to keep it clean here. This in the back over here is the police officer who gave him a ticket yesterday. And listen to what he says. And this guy is such a good guy. Like he just believes that his beautiful personality and his funny timing will help him because he's such a good dude.
it can't continue because you guys are like,
there's just the guy you stopped yesterday, and
Call the tow truck. He's going to jail.
just the guy you stopped yesterday, and
Right now, he's going through FSEs. Oh, okay. Step over here for me.
If my editors are watching, there's a short right there. There's a short right there. There it is. There's the short. Call tow truck. He's going to jail. Then this other cop, he says, fudge. The other guy walks by. Go stand over there.
today, and
Right now, he's going through FSEs. Oh, okay. Step over here for me.
all right,
Oh, okay. Step over here for me.
all right.
All right, turn around and face me. All right. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to take your feet and place them just like this for me.
What happened to call the tow truck? He's going to jail. And now he's going to do the sobriety test? Okay. You guys saw that we had the DUI guy on this channel. He's called the DUI guy. Okay. I have told you time and time and time again, when you use your trifold, if they're going to tell you to do a sobriety test, right there, it's right there for you. Don't ask me if I'm drinking. Use the address on my ID. I will take no tests. It says it right there on your trifold. That's why you use this. You pull it down from the broccoli wad rubber band I gave you, and then you say, I will take no tests. So frustrating.
Can I take my sandals off?
Yeah, if you're comfortable doing it without the sandals, absolutely. Go ahead. All right, I want you to put your feet together just
Now remember, because he took his sandals off, now he's suspicious.
like this for me. All right, now I want you to make your hands flat like this, place them flat down by your sides. Remain in that position until told to do otherwise. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Anybody else puking right now? Are you puking?
Okay, he seats at my finger.
Listen to how this pig talks to him. Like he's his boss. He's Simon Says. He's his daddy.
Put your feet together just like this for me. All right,
Put your feet together just like this for me. Command number 1.
now I want you to make your hands flat like this,
Now I want you to make your hands like this. Monkey see, monkey do.
place them flat down by your sides.
Now put them down by your sides. 3 commands in 3 seconds.
Remain in that position until told to do otherwise. Do you understand?
Remain in that position until told to do otherwise. Do you understand? Within 5 seconds, 4 commands, and then a stay like a dog.
Yes.
Okay. Can you see the tip of my finger?
What's that?
Can you see the tip of my finger?
Oh, yes.
Okay. This is a stimulus. With your eyes and your eyes only, I want you to follow the tip of my finger and or the stimulus, okay, without moving your head. Does that make sense?
Patronizing, painful. Don't put yourself in this position.
Yes. I want you to follow the tip of my finger with your eyes and your eyes only, keeping your head completely still. Do you understand?
Yes.
Are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't do this. Okay, so we're at 8 minutes and 15 seconds on this video. We're going to come right back to this video in 1 second. Okay.
To know that these tests
Right here. This guy came on the show. This is special guest interview with the DUI guy. Tons of not legal advice and information. He said on here, he's an attorney. He said,
are shit, but they're gonna make them look like, except for you, they're gonna make them look like they're the hottest things in sliced bread.
okay, so he goes on and he says, do not take any DUI tests.
Here for a second.
Okay.
So, by the way, to Apree rocks all of these. He's steady as a rock. Dude's a total specimen.
Okay, you can relax. Do me a favor. Can you go on top of my steering wheel and grab my? Can you go on?
So, if you guys don't know, this is a rookie cop. This is a rookie cop right here doing this. So he's doing all these things super by the book, and these are the senior cops watching what he's doing. They're letting him do everything like he's a little puppy dog.
Top of my steering wheel, grab my phone for me, please. Typically don't do an actual line. I typically do an imaginary line. So I'm just giving you a heads up so you'll get.
So he tells the guy who's obviously been there for a long time, he's had enough donuts, that he doesn't do an actual line. He does an imaginary line, okay? Because he has to get approval from the guy above him.
No,
I don't use that. I use an imaginary line.
Cool. Yeah.
So there they are with their little inside. Here's how I try to arrest people. Oh, here's how I try to arrest people.
Thank you, sir.
Have you already checked the windows?
Yeah, the windows are one, and then the whole windshield's tinted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just wrote in the criminal citation.
Is this him that you towed the car yesterday?
Yep. Since he don't want to, if I thought getting a criminal citation, get him a trip to jail.
Okay, so this was the bike cop who came up, and you can see to Apree is going to get really uncomfortable when he comes up, because this cop is a blazing dick who would arrest somebody because their windows are tinted. But that's not why he arrested him. He arrests him because he didn't abide by his authority.
Yeah, I just wrote in the criminal citation.
Is this him that you towed the car yesterday?
Yep. Since he don't want to, if I thought getting a criminal citation, get him a trip to jail. Failing to obey police.
Oh man, that feeling. Thanks, Melissa. That feeling. Everybody, if you know what that feeling in your feeling feels like, that feeling in your stomach, put a 1 in the chat if you know what that feeling is like. If the cop tells you he's going to arrest you, and you know that they're about to grab you and put the torture cuffs on you, and your nightmare is going to begin. Your whole nightmare is now going to begin. If you know what that feeling is like, put a 1 in the chat, because there's a debate. Is he an activist or is he an actor? You know, you can put your feelings, what you think. Is he an activist or is he an actor? And we're gonna talk, and I'll tell you my whole perspective on it as soon as we're all done with this. But he's a human first. And can't you? My eyes are watering. I've been crying all night. My dog's real sick, so I'm gonna try to keep my emotions in check. He's a human being who doesn't need to be shackled for tinted windows, whether he got citation or not, right? He's a human being first. And the feeling he has in his stomach right now is the worst, because they're taking him to the most dangerous place for him in America on earth.
Oh, yeah. I just wrote in the criminal citation.
Is this him that you towed the car yesterday?
Yeah. Since he don't want to, if I'm not getting a criminal citation, give him a trip to jail. Felon to obey police.
Pain. The pain I
So just to
feel.
clarify,
Why
is there any reason why your eyes would be twitching while they're standing still, or not standing still while you're tracking my finger going back and forth? Okay, your eyes are shaking. Is there any reason for that you can explain to me? Anything medical?
I feel like you're trying to trick me with questions, so I'm gonna plead the fifth.
No, I'm not trying to trick you with the question. I'm asking you if you've ever been medically diagnosed with something, because I'm trying to ensure that if you have something medically going on, that I can include that, and I need to be aware of that, so I don't think it's possibly you being under the influence of something.
So at this point, I'll just plead the fifth.
Okay.
Okay, this is the whole point. To Apree, I'm sorry this happened to you. This is why I have the trifold that says I invoke my Fifth Amendment right away. What are the step-by-step tutorial for everybody in here? Your trifold goes up here. You can slide it down with your hand as you're recording, and you say, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right from the very beginning. And on here it says, I will take no tests. And you follow this exactly. You follow this exactly. You don't deviate one single bit. Everything on there are like commands to you. I will take no tests. I agree to no searches or seizures. Use the address on my ID. I'll give no additional information. You start with this first, and they would have arrested him anyway, but he should have started with, I plead the fifth right away. Right away.
That, so I don't think it's possibly you being under the influence.
He took a test. Now the cop is saying his eyes were shaking. And who's the judge of that? Just the cop.
So at this point, I'll just plead the fifth.
Okay.
Should have done that from the very get-go.
All right. I want you to take some steps back for me, okay? We're going to actually come to this line right here. I want you to stand just in front of this line. Would you rather do it?
Now taking his socks off is suspicious. Why does he want to take his socks off? I'm suspicious of that.
With the socks off?
Oh, yeah, please.
You sure?
Yes, my toes are
go ahead.
Yep. Are you sure about that? You sure you want to take them off? Why would you want to take your socks off? Why do you want to take your socks off? Are you sure? He said it. How many? I mean, just watch.
Right, this line right here. I want you to stand just in front of this line.
Socks off real quick.
There's the first time he asks.
Would you rather?
Now he's telling him the reasons why. It already fallen into the Stockholm syndrome where he's a captive.
Do it with the socks off?
Oh, yeah, please.
So now he clarified. You want to do it with the socks off? He says, yes, please.
You sure?
Yes, come on.
Are you sure? That's 3 times to affirm that the guy wants to take off a pair of socks.
Go ahead. Yep.
Now I give permission. Go ahead. I'm your daddy.
Would you rather do it with the socks off?
Oh, yeah, please.
You sure?
Yes, my toes are
go ahead. Yep. All right, what I want you to do is stand just in front of this line on the sidewalk, okay? So step on the other side of the line. All right. All right, so what I want you to do for me is I want you to imagine there's a straight line out in front of you. Can you see that line?
Oh, I'm imagining it.
Okay, so you can see the line on the ground.
Well, I'm imagining it.
You're imagining it, but in your head, you can see it on the ground. Okay, I want you to take your left foot and place it on that line. All right, now I want you to take your right foot, place it in front of your left foot, touching heel to toe. I want you to take your hands, put them flat down by your sides. Remain in that position until you're told to do otherwise. Do you understand?
All those commands, and I could not, right now, the shape I'm in from being in jail and 20 pounds heavy of fat, I could not stand with my feet one in front of the other with my hands by my side. I would fall over. I couldn't do it right now, stone cold sober as I am.
Okay, when I tell you to begin, I'm going to ask you to take 9 heel-to-toe steps down that line, okay? Then turn by taking a series of small steps and return 9 heel-to-toe steps, okay? That'll look something like this. Okay, our left foot's on the line, our right foot's in front of our left foot. All right, we're going to walk down the line. 1, 2, 3, and so on to 9. Okay, once we reach our 9th step, we're going to turn by taking a series of small steps, okay? That is going to look something like this. Okay, once you've completed your turn, you're going to replace your foot and take 9 heel-to-toe steps back down the line. 1, 2, 3, and so on to 9. Do you understand that so far?
Yes.
Okay, while you're walking, keep your hands down by your sides at all times. Watch your feet, okay, and count each step out loud. Do you understand?
Say that again.
Okay, so while you're walking, keep your hands down by your sides, look at your feet, and count each step out loud. Do you understand?
All right.
All right, do you have any questions? Okay. Are you ready to begin? Yes. Here you begin.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You got to keep your hands on your side as you walk and keep yourself upright. That's not how people walk. Whoever decided that this was a test to determine if you're drunk or not, if you can walk heel to toe with your hands pasted to your thighs.
9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, you can relax.
All right. How was that?
Have you been through A-Ride or Middle?
Which one's A-Ride?
The advanced roadside. So,
DRE's expired.
yeah, no, there's just certain exercises that I can do, but they typically want you to be A-Ride in order to do them. But we'll continue on with our standardized, okay? So, all right, I'm gonna have you get in this position again, okay?
What? I mean, how many tests does he have to take? How many? Now get in this position again?
Your feet together, arms down by your sides, and remain in that position until you're told to do otherwise. Do you understand?
Oh, God.
Okay. When I tell you to begin, I'm going to ask you to raise your foot. It can be either foot, approximately 6 inches off the ground.
Look at.
Ground or soda can's height.
Oh,
Okay. That's going to look something like this.
I just want to vomit.
Notice how my leg is completely straight. My foot is parallel to the ground, and my arms are down by my sides. Okay. While doing this, you're going to look at your toe while it's pointed out and count in the following manner: 1001, 1002, 1003, and so on until I tell you to stop. Do you understand? Okay. Do you have any questions?
We'll go as we go.
No. Do you have any questions before we begin the exercise? You need to understand the exercise before we start.
So I extend my leg and then keep my body in the same
Yep.
position.
So you raise your foot, okay, approximately 6 inches off the ground.
And two Apree's like what? 6'5", 6'6"?
Soda can's height. Okay. While your foot is raised, you're going to keep your leg straight, and you're going to point your toe out so that your foot is parallel with the ground. You understand that so far?
Yeah, I got it.
For the love of God, use the trifold. And it says right on there, I don't take any tests.
See how my foot is?
Yeah.
Okay. While doing that, you're going to look at your toe with your hands down by your sides and count out loud in the following manner: 1001, 1002, 1003, and so on until I tell you to stop. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. Give me a second.
1001.
Keep that foot parallel to the ground. Point your toe out.
He's going to order him around as he's doing it.
You may begin.
1001.
Keep that foot parallel to the ground. Point your toe out. There you go.
1001.
So got an authoritarian with a gun and a stick and a taser standing over you with his phone out, measuring every step on a road where people are zipping by, and not everybody is too Apree. This guy's a G. He's in shape like a mug. Easy for him to stand on one leg like that. I'm not in that good a shape right now. 20 minutes on the bike is killing me.
1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010,
Perfect.
1011, 1012, 1013.
He's rock solid.
1015,
Traffic.
1017,
His eyes winking.
1018.
You see his eye winking like that? I wonder if he did that on purpose. Watch. Hold on. Let me zoom in. This is hilarious. I think Apree is fucking with him.
1011, 1012, 1013, 1014, 1015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023.
You can stop. Well, 1 second.
Hold on. I just got to pull the audience real quick. Who thinks that he was totally messing with him? Who thinks he was totally fucking with that cop right there? Put a 1 in the chat if you think he was totally messing with that cop. I'm just.
All right, we're going to do one last thing, okay? I want you to put your feet together like this again, okay? Place your hands down flat by your sides. Okay. Now, when I tell you to begin, not right now, keep your eyes open, okay? I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, okay, and estimate the passage of 30 seconds in your head.
All right.
Okay?
I'm perfect at this.
Okay? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to close your eyes, estimate the passage of 30 seconds in your head. Once you get to 30 seconds, I want you to open your eyes, look at me, and say done. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so just to recap, you're not going to do anything, you're not going to tip your head back, nothing. Just like you are, you're going to close your eyes, you're going to count to 30, okay? And then you're going to open your eyes once you're done counting 30 and tell me done.
All right.
Listen to all those instructions. With a cop standing right to your side, he's got the blue murder gloves on, and then he gives you 30 seconds of instructions.
I'll get it on the second. Ready?
Okay, well, hold up. Are you ready?
Yes.
Go ahead and begin.
Done. How close is that?
About 30 seconds off.
About what?
2.5 seconds.
About 3 seconds off.
About 2.5 seconds. 2.56.
What, for real? Fudge.
Okay, I know. You're good. You can relax. You can put your shoes back on and stuff.
He's so mad. Do you see it? I mean, do you see it? Okay, I'm sorry for interrupting. Listen and look at the disappointment in this rookie cop because he passed a sobriety test.
About 3 seconds off.
Now remember, the cop's goal is to arrest you. The cop is trying to arrest you. And now that this cop realizes that he can't charge him with DUI, watch his reaction. Remember, he's thinking the whole time, man, he passed it. Dang it, he passed it. Now watch his physical expression. You can see it, how frustrated he is that he passed the DUI test.
What, for real? Fudge.
Okay, I know. You're good. You can relax. You can put your shoes back on and stuff.
I know you're on chemicals. I know you're not sober, but you passed all the tests, so I guess you are.
He's definitely on 31, but his field sobriety is okay. Yeah.
I can't hear what he's saying. He said he's definitely 1031, but then this cop,
He's definitely on 31,
he's definitely on 31. It must be
but his field sobriety is okay.
his field sobriety is something.
Yeah.
I wrote him in yesterday. And a windshield ticket. And the state attorney told me I was good on it.
Okay.
And the state attorney told me what?
And the state attorney told me I was good on it.
The state attorney told him he should have arrested him?
Okay. The charge is what?
Fell to a base.
Yeah, see if you can.
The charge is what? Because this guy's over here taking a smoke break, watching the rookie.
Get it right here. It says failed to obey police firefighter, but it falls under the same as failed to obey your lawful command. Refused to obey police. And I told him yesterday that car could not be driven on a Florida roadway. And if you don't find it on that, look for failed to obey lawful command. Because I told him yesterday no, and had it towed.
But stop. But wait. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Stop the press. Hold the phone. Whether he's an activist or an actor is not relevant here. What's relevant here is that they're arresting him over tinted windows, that he told him to take that tint off his windows, but he had not been tried by a judge and a jury. And that was not a court order. He's being arrested for windows being tinted. He's being arrested for his windows being tinted. We get that? Everybody understand that? It's so preposterous. It's unreal.
What if all your windows are down when you're riding with them?
And then look at this. Cops just expect to run over to you, grab you, and throw you in the torture cuffs.
Just be sure you get UTC to go with that belt.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you handle the tow for me?
Money.
Well, nuisance, man. Can't call for rotation. Y'all want to hold off a little bit.
Yeah, go and call for it. You got shorts underneath these pants?
No.
No? Where is this stuff that's in this? I feel right here then.
For not obeying a cop, for not obeying.
In like the zipper pocket there?
Yes, I'm in the zipper pocket right now.
I mean, dude's lean, got ripples on top.
Oh, is there another pocket behind it?
Yeah,
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
You think I'll be out today?
I do not know.
If I'm out, I'm getting my back bicep workout in today.
He's getting his back and bicep workout in today.
What?
If I get out today, I'm getting my back bicep workout in.
I didn't understand what you said again.
He said he wants to work out.
Oh, okay.
I'm still getting back bicep in today if I get out.
See, he doesn't know anything about that.
Hey, I get that.
No, you actually don't get it. You would have known he said back and buys. Every single guy who spends time in a gym knows what back and buys are.
Be sure you give him a ticket for every
What's that?
Then he said, be sure you give him a ticket. Be sure you give him a ticket, another ticket. I mean, I think this is going under 8th Amendment unreasonable fines.
What's that?
We can get your stuff. We'll get your stuff because we have to do inventory of the vehicle anyways. Hey man, before we start relooking at that vehicle, is there anything in there?
No.
We're gonna have to do an inventory, which means that we have to go through the vehicle. So
No.
nothing we're gonna find.
Nope.
Okay. I get you.
This is so
So
uncomfortable. Can I like say, you know I'm a good dude. Can I stand here for a second? I'm not gonna like.
What you can do is you can scoot more that way and spread your legs out. Sorry about We can get your stuff. We'll get your stuff because we have to do inventory of the vehicle anyways. Hey man, before we start relooking at vehicle, is there anything in there?
No.
We're gonna have to do an inventory, which means that we have to go through the vehicle. So
you're going to search his vehicle, and this is going to be. It's an illegal search, but
nothing we're gonna find.
Nope.
Okay. I get you.
This is so uncomfortable. Can I like say, I'm a good dude. Can I stand here for a second? I'm not gonna like.
What you can do is you can scoot more that way and spread your legs out. Sorry, bud.
it's not an illegal search. It's legal under a Supreme Court case. But I want to cover this first real quick. The Eighth Amendment to the Constitution prohibits the government from imposing excessive fines. Multiple fines for the same infraction over and over and over could be considered excessive fines. Excessive fines shall not be imposed. It applies to both civil and criminal cases and protects against monetary payments and property forfeiture.
Stand here for a second. I'm not gonna like.
I'm sorry. And it was the 1976 case of South Dakota versus Opperman, where they said that it's not a search of your car. They're inventorying your car to safeguard your belongings. I believe it was 1976, and I believe it was South Dakota versus Opperman. And that's what allows them to search your car. Incident to arrest, especially.
What you can do is you can scoot more that way and spread your legs out. Sorry, bud.
If you want to inventory that car, you can.
Yeah. Well, 60 girl, when you can show use of 1015 reference 360 violation.
So what is all this about? You're about to find out.
316 violation.
A tinted window violation, and then they failed to obey the cop, and the cop can put him in jail.
26.
That's incredible. It's a total police state.
You're doing the inventory?
Well, he does 13.
Okay, cool. Look at this, man.
25. Breathe is 51, 52, 30.
So they're going through his car. We're at 21 minutes here. South Dakota versus Opperman. I was right. It was 1976. Sometimes I get my years mixed up because I'm dyslexic. But the respondent, Donald Opperman, left his car unattended in a prohibited parking space in violation of the ordinance. He received 2 parking tickets, and as a result, his vehicle was subsequently inspected and impounded. At the impound lot, a police officer observed personal items on the dashboard of the car and unlocked the door to inventory the items using standard procedure, whatever they decided standard procedure is. And if in the unlocked glove compartment, the officer found Mary and a plastic bag. Opperman was arrested later the next day and charged with possession. He was convicted, but the Supreme Court of South Dakota reversed on appeal and concluded the search was in violation of the Fourth Amendment. Does the Fourth Amendment warrants clause prohibit police from inventorying? Do you see what they're saying here? The Supreme Court is notorious for changing the meaning of words. It's not a search, it's an inventorying of a vehicle that is lawfully impounded. Do you see? Without first obtaining a warrant. And who screws us over? Oh, shocker, conservatives. Conservative Supreme Court personnel give our rights to the cops. No, it is not a violation. Chief Justice Earl Berger delivered a 6-3 majority. The court held that police can inventory a car that's been lawfully impounded even without getting a warrant. Inventory procedures for impound vehicles are taken in order to protect the owner's property and to protect the police from claims of stolen items, as well as potential danger. Therefore, the search of the impounded vehicle is considered reasonable under the Fourth Amendment. Justice Thurgood Marshall and Justice Potter Stewart with Brennan wrote a dissent arguing that the search of an automobile without a warrant clearly violates the Fourth Amendment. A routine inventory is no excuse to violate the privacy of automobile owners. And it's a 5-4 decision. 5-4. And as usual at the Supreme Court, these are the guys, the conservatives, who screw us over. But even John Paul Stevens, John Paul Stevens. He voted along with them. And he's the longest serving Supreme Court justice. He's going to be 1970 to 2010. He's going to be there for 40 years, a little longer.
In here for a second. I'm not gonna
What you can do is,
And then he thinks that they're going to be nice to him.
Can I say? I'm a good dude. Can I stand here for a second? I'm not gonna
what you can do is you can scoot more that way and spread your legs out. Sorry about.
If you want to inventory that car, you can.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Paul Stevens was 1975 to 2010. Not 1970. I misspoke. Forgive me.
963 Grove. You can show use of 1015 reference $360. $316 violation.
26.
So now look, he's got 2 5-gallon things of water in the back of his car here, and some bottles of water here. But other than that, pretty clean.
You're doing the inventory?
You're doing the inventory, which is a search.
Okay, cool. Look at this, man.
25. Free this 51, 52, 30.
It's unbelievable. He gets to go through all of his stuff because his windows were tinted. It's just incredible.
I just went through the jury instructions, so I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions to kind of vet that, okay? So yesterday you stopped him, correct?
Stopped him for tinted windshield. He said he didn't realize it.
Yep.
Had him checking David. He had 4 prior citations. I read him a 5th, and I also wrote him a criminal for failing to obey police. Told him verbatim, that car cannot be driven on Florida roadways with improper unsafe equipment.
And then today he's obviously operating the vehicle again with the same thing.
And had him call a tow truck, which he did. He uses Hodges. And then today he's out driving it again.
So with the same tint. Can you validate that's the same tint you saw yesterday?
Yep.
All right. Appreciate you.
We told you. I paused it right here so we could just take a look here. Gosh. Man. Look at that. That look like it's tinted right there. It sure does, doesn't it? So his windshield can be tinted. Put that window up. I guarantee you it's tinted. Huh. Wonder what. Oh, what do we got? Let me see that again. I'm sorry.
Oh, yesterday?
Yep.
All right. Appreciate you.
Oh, would you take a look at that? Would you take a look at that? Is that window tinted too dark on that copper car that we own? Well, I shiver me timbers.
So it's I wasn't gonna put it on the radio, but basically, this is the guy that rigged and stopped yesterday for the tint and towed his car. So he's out driving again after.
Yesterday for the same thing.
Yep. So after Rigdon told him yesterday you can't drive. So Rigdon came out. He's like,
What a pig! Starts.
I was doing FSCs on him. I called you out here because he is on 31.
Yeah, he's definitely on 31.
I did the FSCs and
He's definitely on drugs. I wonder if Apree can sue them for defaming him because he's not on drugs. That's ridiculous. I mean, this guy needs Ozempic.
passed the FSCs, so I can't touch him on the DUI case. But he's,
what the hell? Take him.
yeah, no,
Did he say F him? Did he say take him or hook him? Can you guys help me right here real quick? What does this copper say? Everybody listen real close here.
Take him.
yeah.
Go ahead. You guys put in the comment section what you think. What take him, book him? Is that what he said? Book him. Okay. I thought he said something else. It sounded like something else to me. Does he say book him?
Take him.
Yeah,
Book him.
I had to get with Rigdon because I looked at the jury instructions, and I just had to validate what exact order did you give him yesterday? He's like, I told him he could not operate this vehicle on roadways until it was fixed. So that's 316 violation. That's criminal 316.
See, now you got one real arrest.
I just had a real arrest.
This is some disgusting shit right here. This is some really disgusting shit right here.
Criminal 316.
See, now you got one real arrest.
I just had a real arrest Friday. No, yesterday.
No, squad.
Yeah, you're right. All right, boss. At this point, you are under arrest. You understand that, right?
Yeah, I'm your first real arrest under the squad, right?
No. Not.
The whole thing for this guy was about getting a real arrest. He gets an arrest. That is just so disgusting.
That's 316 violation. That's criminal 316.
And now that we know why this guy is walking up to the old fat man who's been there forever, he's looking for validation for arresting someone. Take a look at the old fat man. Take a look at him and how like almost like a proud parent who the kid just caught his first fish, but it's a human being going to a dungeon. Now watch the fat guy's reaction, and you can, if you really look at him now, you can see the face of like patronizing a child almost.
Yeah, no, I had to get with Rigdon because I looked at the jury instructions, and I just had to validate what exact order did you give him yesterday. He's like, I told him he could not operate this vehicle on roadways until it was fixed. So that's 316 violation. That's criminal 316.
See, now you got one real arrest.
I just had a real arrest Friday. No, yesterday.
No, squad.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what it's about right there. That's what it was about, was arresting somebody.
All right, boss. At this point, you are under arrest. You understand that, right?
Yeah, I'm your first real arrest under the squad, right?
No. Not my first under this squad. My first of this tour.
Oh, this tour.
Yeah, no. This isn't my normal shift. I normally don't work with these guys. I work on the opposite side.
You do work with them. He was razzing you about getting your first arrest. That's what you are, bro. That's what you've become.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I think you're under the influence. So
no matter what he said or did, the cop's always going to believe he's under the influence. And what does his 26-year-old ass know? He doesn't know anything.
You were definitely chill for most of the under the influence people I've dealt with. I will say that. I'll give you that.
You're a moron, dude. He's not on chemicals at all. And in your dumbass training, you learn stupid stuff, dude.
I think
that because someone's eyes are bloodshot, they must be on chemicals. He has big eyes naturally. I've seen it in 100 of his videos.
You're under the influence, but I don't think you're under the influence to the point where you're impaired. So here's what it is.
Where do we go now?
We go to the jail. It's a hike. Yeah. Gracias.
And they're all still razzing this guy about getting got his first arrest for failure to obey, and August 27th, 2024. That's coming right up. He has 2 upcoming court dates. August 20th, that's tomorrow. That's today. August 20th is today. He has court today and court August 27th. Failure to obey was today's court case. I hope he covers it.
He's got his phone in there, still recording.
It's in here?
Yeah.
That's what he wants.
See.
Yeah, because I mean, I wasn't gonna put like failure to obey a lawful order over the radio. You know, it's just like. No, it's showing current. You just didn't put a sticker on it.
get a phone?
Yeah. He's got medical marijuana card in there.
He does have a medical marijuana card.
So now the question I asked was, is Apree an actor or an activist? And if we take a look at his videos, the last, it looks like the police are involved in a lot of his videos, right? He does some really great stuff in AI. So you guys vote in the crowd, activist or actor, activist or actor. So then, if I go to popular on videos, then 1.2 million views 3 years ago, job interview, drinking brew, holding a fishing pole in public. Oh, so this is his third video. But just so you know, this is, I got to just tell you something. This is one of my favorite videos of all time.
I'm done. Big.
How much experience? This isn't going to work.
So this is his when he's acting.
How much experience do you have to have for it?
It all depends. I mean, but all right. So thank you very much for your time. After you get a couple of years, you can try back.
I can't guarantee that it'll always be morning or always be evenings. If we just base it on the needs of, our students. Okay? We want to make sure that you have our experts and kind of your discipline.
Where do you work currently?
Oh my gosh, sorry. I was just distracted by this hunk of a man in front of me.
Okay.
Let's see here. Okay, so what highest
What's up?
are you? Can you please not eat during our interview?
I'm not eating.
Okay. Because this is a serious interview. So if you're not prepared to be serious during the interview, then we can't conduct this interview.
Oh, I'm good. I'm not eating.
Okay. Are you prepared to continue the interview?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So what is your highest? All right, sir. We're going to end this interview.
I'm not eating.
Are you eating, sir?
Oh, no, I'm not eating.
Okay. All right, sir. All right, sir. We're done with this interview. Thank you very much. Okay. I'm sorry that I have to be able to take this seriously, and this is not acceptable.
I'm not eating. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So, and then if I go to popular here, this is his funniest one. I laugh so hard. I've seen
about your experience in metals acquisition.
I'm so buzzed right now. I'm trying to think of like specific times, like an example of the metal procurement that I did, or
correct.
I'm trying to remember specifics because I'm so buzzed right now. So I'm trying to think of like specifics.
So may I ask you a question?
Yes, for sure.
Is it appropriate to be buzzed during an interview?
Yeah, I'm not drunk. I'm not like hammered or anything. I just I like to get a buzz going and get kind of, it helps me feel productive and just get into the flow, get ready for the interview. It kind of helps me prepare.
Okay.
Remember, this is he's acting here. Very likable guy who's drinking on an interview.
And do you think that's appropriate?
Oh yeah, no. So I'm not like getting hammered like 8-9 beers.
I'm not. Okay. Do you think it's appropriate to drink a beer?
Boy, she really wants to teach him a lesson, doesn't she?
Of an interviewer?
Well, yeah. So I wasn't like pounding them back and forth. It was just, I just like to drink like 1 or 2. I limit myself to 5 during the day because I like to kind of get into that flow. And if I get too buzzed at night, it affects my sleep. So I'm more of like a daytime kind of buzz kind of guy.
Okay. But that's not my question. I'm not questioning your choice. I'm just questioning whether you think it's proper interview etiquette to be drinking during an interview.
I guess I never thought about that. I've never had one of these virtual Zoom interviews, so I kind of wanted to just do what I do behind the scenes, kind of in front of you or whatever. It's not like, I'm not just like funneling like chug. I get a little buzz going. This is my second one of the day. I got a nice healthy buzz. I'm able to communicate with you. Nice. I'm feeling confident. I'm ready to nail the interview. it just kind of gets me in the mood, gets me in that flow work state kind of zone. You know what I'm saying? And when I did metal procurement, I did the same thing. I would get a little buzz during the day, and no one would even know. It would be the opposite. I would do better. Just the way I'm talking to you right now, I'm getting more and more buzz throughout this conversation, and I'm just talking more and more
Paul, I
confidently.
really don't think this is a good fit for you right now. I appreciate your honesty. I don't think you have the experience we're looking for the procurement. Did you do global procurement? Did you secure metals for?
And I can kind of fit in with people and stuff like that, and it just
definitely wouldn't be able to work anything when you're working for us. I mean, that's not.
Oh no, I wouldn't have the Bud Light and be pounding in front of people. I go to the bathroom, I'll go to my car, I'll just catch a good buzz during the day, just to kind of have like a day buzz, and it helps me be social.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be. So it wouldn't be something that you're able to do.
So he's telling him that he can't be a part of his job because, so now let's take a look at a video more recently, or we can go to popular again. And I know the video I want to show you. I want to show you this video called Butterfly Boy. And here it is here.
No, we're done talking. Out. Why are you yelling at me right now? Because you're not listening to what I'm telling you to do. So walk out. Do you want to go to jail? Then you need to leave.
I'm tired about the First Amendment. That's all we hear.
Run back. For what?
So these are the things that activists want to do.
I'm tired.
So what he says right here.
About the First Amendment. That's all we hear.
I'm tired about the First Amendment. That's all we hear. Perfect.
Run back. For what? Can I help you?
Oh, no, thank you.
Do you need services?
Oh, no, not at this time.
No services?
Oh, no, thank you. And this is Charlestown and John Brown.
Are you just looking for brochures?
Oh, no, I'm just looking around.
Conduct business. So.
I'm conducting business. No, she is.
But if you don't have official business with the city, other people do have to come in here. So.
Oh, I do have business here, sir.
You don't.
Yes, I do, sir. Butterfly Boy has business here.
I didn't hear what you said, but I'm pretty sure you don't.
Butterfly Boy does have business here. So anyways, Charlestown and John Brown, that rhymes.
So he's using his acting in an activist role.
Cool. It's almost like they're rapping.
Are you local?
Oh, I just flap around it.
I just flap around myself.
Wherever like the best stuff is. Hey, how are you? So yeah.
What's going on, man?
What's that?
What's going on?
What do you mean?
Do you have a reason that you're standing in here right now?
Oh, well, you seem a little bit aggressive.
No, I'm not being aggressive. I'm moving forward.
No, you came up to me very
Okay, so they asked you to leave. You can stand outside and do whatever you want outside. Okay, but you can't be in here. Okay.
I mean, honey, I don't think you have the facilities.
You have no purpose for here.
Oh, yeah, I do.
No, what's your purpose then?
But you assumed I didn't have a purpose before you even asked.
Okay, because they've already told me what's going on. So what is your purpose for being here?
But as an officer, you're supposed to investigate both sides of the story.
Okay, so that's why I'm asking you. What are you here for?
But you weren't investigating both sides at first.
I'm asking you right now.
Oh, yeah, I'm just doing my Butterfly Boy business. I'm with the Free Press.
Okay.
So, yeah, just looking at some stuff and then I'll be out. Yes.
Okay. Right now.
Oh, yeah, I'm just doing my Butterfly Boy business. I'm with the Free Press.
Okay.
So, yeah, just looking at some stuff and then I'll be out soon.
Out soon? Okay, so you got your little whatever that is. So.
Oh, yeah, it's about Charlestown.
Okay. Okay, so you have your pamphlet. They asked you to leave. Okay, so you need to leave.
Okay, but I'm with the Free Press, though. I'm just doing Butterfly Boy stuff.
Oh, I'm with the Free Press. I'm just doing Butterfly Boy stuff. So I'm with the Free Press. He's invoking the right to be press and then saying, but he's just doing Butterfly Boy stuff, his acting. So he's combining activism with his job set, which is being an actor.
You're trespassing. You have no reason to be here, standing in here. They asked you to leave, so you need to leave.
Oh, okay. Isn't this a publicly owned building?
But if you have no business to be here,
oh, I do.
Then you need to leave.
Oh yeah, I'm doing butterfly boy first. Hey, officer, how are you? Yeah, how are you?
You figure they play bad cop, good cop, and Manning should come in and be the good cop, but Manning is not going to come in and be the good cop.
Officer, I'm saying hi, officer. How are you?
What's going on?
He's to conduct in the city. He's going around in places that are not accessible to the public.
That's not true. He wasn't doing that.
And he's filming everyone and just flapping
That's
around
true.
here.
The only thing.
Did she say he's flapping around in here? I think she actually said he's flapping around in here.
And he's filming everyone and just flapping around in here.
The only thing she said that was true was the flapping part. Sir, you didn't even say hi to me. You came in very aggressive.
What are you doing here?
Can you say hi to me first?
No, what are you doing here?
Bad cop, huh? What could possibly go wrong?
I want to say hi.
Leave.
Oh, bad cop.
You want a citation?
Oh, do you want a citation?
Trespassing?
No, but it's
okay, then you need to leave, okay?
I'm
being very nice. I'm sure they were nice to you to tell you to leave.
Man, she just keeps on smacking and hitting herself. You can hear it. Click, clack, click, clack.
Oh, I'm not being aggressive.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's see.
Nice. I'm sure they were nice to you to tell you to leave. Oh, I'm not being aggressive.
You haven't seen her aggressive side yet. She's not aggressive yet.
Aggressive.
Oh, I'm not being aggressive.
Yes, you
are. Oh, I'm not. Oh, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Oh, you haven't met her aggressive side yet.
He doesn't have a.
Your eye contact is very aggressive.
Okay, come on.
But I'm
Time to leave. Let's go. Come on. No, I don't want that. Go.
You're gonna be in handcuffs in a minute. Let's go.
No, officer.
You've been given an order to leave.
I'm just.
No, we're done talking. Out.
Why are you yelling at me right now?
Because you're not listening to what I'm telling you to do. So walk out. Do you want to go to jail? Is that what you want to say?
So that right there gives him standing. Just so you guys know, you don't have to go as far as being arrested. He now has the standing he needs to sue them, which is another level of activism that we'll talk about more in a minute that I want to get into.
You want a citation? Then you need to leave.
Now they're physically removing him. He has standing. He could leave now, and he did his job as an activist because next he could sue.
Go. Tired of dealing with you. Find another place to go.
Why'd you touch butterfly boy like
Find another
that?
place to go.
You put me in a wrist lock and you bent my wrist.
Move.
I'm going that way. You guys were mean to butterfly boy. I was, but why did you guys assault me like that? You guys bent butterfly boy's wrist. You guys fragile wrist. Why are you guys surrounding me like that? Do you have a phone? Can I use your phone? I want to call 911.
No, you have a phone in your hand.
Why are you
We're
yelling-
done.
why are you
Do not
yelling
go
this
back in
at
there.
me?
All right? You can walk around outside and do whatever you want outside, okay? But you cannot go back in there. Do you understand?
She's a psycho. This cop is an absolute psycho.
Why are you guys surrounding me like that? Do you have a phone? Can I use your phone? I want to call 911.
No, you have a phone in your hand.
Why are you
We're
yelling-
done.
why are you
Do not
yelling
go
this
back
at
in
me?
there. All right? You can walk around outside and do whatever you want outside, okay? But you cannot go back in there. Do you understand? If you go back in there, you're going to go to jail. Do you understand me? Go back in there, you'll be arrested for obstructing. Do you understand me?
For what?
For obstructing. I'm giving you a lawful order not to go back in there. So if you go back in there, you're going to jail. Do you understand me?
What was that?
Look, she's a psycho. So go ahead and sign up to your local police department, everybody. Join her. That's your colleague right there. All you have to do is act like a total psychopath, and you can become a police officer in America too.
Do you mind
Start walking.
Can I have your name and badge
It says
number?
it right here. Noble.
But you're not
okay?
being very noble right now. No, and do you have a badge number by chance?
We don't use badge numbers.
Do you have a badge number, sir?
Unit numbers 102.
Oh, do you have a unit number?
111.
And that's Manning?
Yep.
You're acting overly manly. You're overmanning right now.
I'm what?
You're overmanning right now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know how your name's Manning?
Yes.
Well, you're overmanning. You're like manhandling me.
I wasn't handling you. You're given an order to leave, and we escorted you out of the building because you refused to leave. So why don't you go somewhere else?
Philosopher, it's a public. I was just doing my free press.
They don't want you here.
It doesn't matter if they don't want butterflies. They just don't like
Go get
butterflies.
someone else want some butterflies. Try walking that way, pass out some butterflies.
Okay, but just so I understand, isn't this a publicly owned public building?
It's a public building for public business. If you're not conducting public business, you're not to be here. They don't want you here.
Okay, perfect. So I am conducting public business. So is that cool if I go back in and
No.
conduct my...
You're not conducting public business.
What? But
Business
yes.
is done.
Yes, I am. You guys are interfering with my First Amendment right to do my butterfly boy free press. Yes.
So he just said you interrupted my First Amendment right to be free press. That
Public business. Was that cool if I go back in and
No.
conduct my...
You're not conducting public business.
What? But
Business
yes.
is done.
Yes, I am. You guys are interfering with my First Amendment right to do my butterfly boy free press.
my First Amendment right to be butterfly boy free press.
Yes.
No.
This is a Tom Bain violation, sir.
If you were in a restricted area,
Show me where the sign was.
you were in outside the lobby there. You were in the back, which is a restricted area.
But there was no restricted access signs. There used to be.
Door.
It was unlocked though.
So you just go out to people's homes and just open the doors and walk on in?
No, not homes. Just only if I'm doing First Amendment protected butterfly.
I'm tired about the First Amendment. That's all we
You're,
hear.
you're tired about rights?
If you go back in there, you're going to get arrested.
So that's what we as activists care about, is that he identifies. We're at 7:15 right here. You may have heard a moment ago to Apree say that's a Bain violation. The Bain Act violation occurs when someone interferes with another person's constitutional or statutory rights under California or federal law using threats. And they went past that. They use intimidation, coercion, or coercion. They literally coerced him out. This could include preventing someone from exercising their rights or forcing them to do something that isn't required by law. The Bain Act protects many rights, including the right to free speech, assembly, and voting. It also protects people from bodily harm, defamation, and personal insults. The Bain Act, also known as California Civic Code 52.1, gives people the right to sue for damages if their rights are violated. The acts that were prohibited by the Bain Act can also be considered criminal acts, which could result in criminal penalties for the violator.
No, we're done talking. Out.
Why are you yelling at me? Though respectfully.
And I'm
So if you go back in, you'll be trespassing.
Understand though it is First Amendment though respectfully.
and I'm letting you know that if you go back in there, okay, things aren't going to be calm, okay? Because I'm going to have to yell at you again, and then you're going to go to jail.
Can I come in with her?
Ask some questions.
Yeah, I have some questions too, guys. Guys, do know it is.
So he's pushing his First Amendment right in the debate of whether he's an activist or an actor. What do we see him doing here? He's still using his acting, but he is indeed pushing his First Amendment right to be the press. He's pushing that right now, even while he's using his profession, which is acting, to push his First Amendment right. So is he an activist or is he an actor?
First Amendment protected activity for Butterfly Boy to be in here gathering his free press, right?
Disturbance right now. You are. They're trying to conduct official government business. So you're interrupting government process right now. Okay? Close the door.
I was in public doing a First Amendment protected activity and they made me leave.
It's perfectly legal. Why'd they call? Well, they know not to be messing with me. I raise hell about all kinds of things. Something about you being the butterfly boy? What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with you wearing wings.
They just don't like butterflies. The Butterfly Boy's calling 911. I'm calling. Hey, yes, he is harassing me because of that. I have these two officers who are violating my rights and they're not letting me into the city hall building. And he grabbed me by my wrist and he threw me out and they're like yelling at me.
I'm sorry, it's very hard to understand you.
These dirty police came to the city hall and they kicked out Butterfly Boy and they grabbed my wrist and they're very dangerous. They're very dangerous. We need officers out here.
Sorry, when you're at City Hall, there's police officers there.
Yes, they're dangerous. They're dangerous officers. We need supervisors.
The officer just told me to hang up, so I'm gonna let you go.
No, don't hang up. Oh gosh, she's coming. She's marching over here. And yeah.
Hi. Oh, excuse me. Hi.
All right, come here. Put your money back.
For what? What are you guys doing?
Let's use 911.
Well, I'm using it correctly because you guys are violating my rights.
Does it say here that he needs bail money for using his First Amendment right? That's what it says right there. It does indeed. Cash App and GoFundMe links below. Every single dollar adds up. Go through on now if you can. Love. So he went to jail. He went to jail. He was arrested and taken to jail for doing a First Amendment protected activity. He's an actor and an activist. He's both. He's using his profession as an actor to be a good activist. He went and got the cop to say, First Amendment, I'm tired of hearing that. He exposed them for being the tyrant sovereign citizens that they are. He just got arrested and put up a Cash App and said, help me because my rights were violated. That's an activist. That's activism. A few of the videos he's made lately, people are saying, go do a First Amendment audit. He's an actor and he's an activist. You are an actor and you are an activist when you go out and you film police. You're a waitress and an activist. You're a shoekeeper and an activist. You work in sales. You're also an activist. He's both. He's an actor and an activist, and he uses his profession in his activism. Bravo. Bravo to Apree. Commend this man. Thank this man for what he has done and the sacrifice of him. Now, there's another level of activism that some of us do where we follow through and we sue the cops and we sue the county and we sue the officials. I don't know what he's done here. But what he did do was show us that they would arrest him for a First Amendment protected activity. Then he called the cops on the cops and they said, oh, now you're abusing 911. So I don't know what happened with the case. You got to remember, everything that you do, you have to consider how you're going to defend yourself. How are you going to defend yourself when you go to court? And so I think a lot about that. I think a ton about that. I think a lot about it. And so I'm looking through his channels here. You know, he has added things. You know, he added AI into the equation.
We wore robot suits and went out and
look, like this is artificial intelligence. He's raising the game of auditing in a commercially viable way. More people who would watch his acting now are going to now watch his activism. So he's a notch above because he's bringing now remember, when you go to Apree's page, let me show you this big. When you go to his page, and you can see public. Here, he's gonna put like look at that
suit thing. I get it.
He's adding in that he's dressed up like a robot. It's artificial intelligence. But when we go to his page and we take a look at his videos and we go to the most popular ones, he's bringing people in to activism who originally followed him because of his comedy. Do you see what he's doing? The job interviews, which by the way, this one is hilarious.
Would you like me to put you back in the lobby so you can get that ready? We're going to want to see a resume for the interview.
For real, it might take a while to create it.
Yeah, you need to have that prepared for an interview. So that you're going to need to probably come back later.
The resume shows like the gig history or whatever.
Your work history, your roles and responsibilities, your job skills.
I just put my gig history and stuff. Right.
What do you mean your gig history?
What's that?
What do you mean by your gig history?
So like my gig history, is that what goes on like the resume? So I just put basic like gig history.
I don't know what you mean by gig.
like side gig or
Your jobs that you've had?
so either side gigs or like low key chill gigs, or because I usually just do side gigs.
Are you talking about like music performing?
No, just like gigs. So for the resume,
This is the one that's hilarious.
Do you have any other questions for me on anything, Jacob?
do you medi?
No, I don't.
Oh, really? You don't get medied?
No.
Is there some good medi where you are?
I'm not sure. What actually is Medi?
Oh, just medicate or whatever.
Oh, yeah. So I'm sure there's some good stuff around here, you know, if you have everything for it.
Heck yeah, I like using a bowl and a hemp wick, and I set the intention for each rip.
Nice.
And then I get extra. It helps me. It gets my appetite going, and then I eat like a big meal. And then if I'm doing something creatively, it kind of refreshes my mental state. If I have some high quality medi, and I'll just take a nice fat rip, and it just gets me charged up again.
Nice. All right. Well, definitely glad to hear about that. And yeah, definitely make sure that you enjoy your day. All right. Make sure you hit up some of that Medi.
You're picking up on the terminology, and you use the hand signal. You're hyping me up right now. Hold on. Let me load a bowl. Let me load a bowl. Medi with me real quick. I'll medi, dude. I'll chill. Let's chill. You're on the clock. Let me get medi.
Okay, so you get it. But like, so if you want my assessment on what Apree is both an activist and an actor. He has taken his profession into activism. And I think that everybody here is better off because of it. You know, he brings another element. And for a while, you know, I binge watched all of his videos. I binge watched everything that he did. I watched every bit of it. And I thought, man, this guy is on another level. He really is. I watched all of his videos, and I did. I sat and watched every single one of them because he just brings a level of funny, and he makes things so that you can enjoy it and watch it and laugh and have a good time with it as he's doing his activism, as he's doing what he does. He's in the moment of his acting, and then at the same time he remembers to come back down to the activism level while he's up on cloud 9 playing a butterfly or whatever. So it's like it just, we have to appreciate what this guy has offered. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing for you. You're an activist and you are a dog breeder. You're an activist and you are a plumber. You're an activist and you are an executive. You work as an executive. So couple personal things. Charlie is, and my dog is super sick. He has something wrong with his spleen. You know, he's you know, he's not good, and I don't know if he's gonna make it. So I've been crying the last, I don't know how many hours I've been crying, and I stayed with him all through the night.
From cop to convicted felon.
That's why. Sorry, that's why I wasn't live yesterday. I was at the vet all day yesterday. He's got something wrong with his spleen, and they don't know if they take it out if he lives or dies anyway. So it's been tough. And then you guys know I got my teeth fixed. My teeth broke again, so I have broken tooth here. Maybe I'll call a police station and I'll do a southern draw and I'll pull the teeth out. But my dog is he's right here. He's right next to me, but he's super, super sick and lethargic and won't eat, won't drink. So I'm going through it, you know. I'm going through it for sure. I've been really upset and really sad. So with that being said, let me show you guys another video.
From cop to convicted felon. Tonight, only WLWT has body camera footage that led to a former Seaman police officer getting arrested.
Yeah, it turns out the footage is from his own body camera that he actually never shut off. WLWT News 5's Karen Johnson's been digging into the case for the past year or so, and she has the public records that explain exactly what happened. Hi, Karen.
Well, hey, Mike, this body camera that you're about to see sparked the investigation. The Seaman police chief at the time was conducting an audit and saw footage that concerned him. It led to former officer James Stokes Sr. being placed on leave.
Okay, so real quick right here.
And the Seaman police chief at the time was conducting an audit.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that the Seaman police chief was conducting an audit? Because I simply don't.
And saw footage that concerned him. It led to former officer James Stokes Sr. being placed on leave. He was then indicted and just recently pleaded guilty to theft in office and unauthorized use of a police database system. James Stokes Sr. heard talking on the phone.
You're the one. Miss you, V. Boyer. Miss you. Love you, honey.
Database system. James Stokes Sr. heard talking on the phone.
You're the one playing that don't never show up, mother freaker.
In between sending texts. He's on duty at the time.
I'm on my
This is going to twist on you. You're not ready for this.
patrol. Where am I supposed to be?
Working the road for the Seaman Police Department.
You're not ready. You're not ready.
His shift seems to take an unusual turn after stopping to talk to a man he knows and who he allowed to drive his personal truck.
I have some loving. You got any underwear on?
Can I have some lovin'? Do you got any underwear on?
Allowed to drive his personal truck.
I have some loving. You got any underwear on?
Stokes is heard making sexual comments to the man.
You can give me 5 minutes. Let me play with it. 5 minutes.
Stokes. Sexual comments to the man.
You can give me 5 minutes. Let me play with it. 5 minutes.
Stokes.
Whoa. 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 Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your little brother. That sucks. Sorry, Jay. I'm battling the high blood pressure myself all the time, but this guy is doing this to another guy. He's God bless you, Jay. He's doing this to another guy. I mean, this is pretty creepy. This is some of the creepiest stuff I've seen.
Sexual comments to the man.
You can give me 5 minutes. Let me play with it. 5 minutes.
Stokes asks the man to meet him at the police department.
I think I deserve it, Rolla. I don't deserve it. Okay, I guess I don't deserve it, so I'm going to go file unauthorized use of motor vehicle on you.
And also threatens to turn the man in for driving without a license, a comment that's made a second time.
What time you come into my place for alone time? And if I don't get alone time tonight, I swear to God, I will file a charge on you and I'll have your butt arrested.
Whoa, did you just hear that? I mean, you can imagine what alone time means.
That's made a second time.
What time you come into my place for alone time? And if I don't get alone time tonight, I swear to God, I will file a charge on you and I'll have your butt arrested.
The two eventually end up at the police department. Once inside, Stokes makes more sexual comments.
Oh my God. Strip down.
The man seems reluctant to engage in Stokes' advances.
Will you together or not?
It's not clear what happened after the body camera was taken off, but still.
What are his hands doing? What are his hands doing right here? What's going on?
They're not.
It's not clear what happened after the body camera was taken off, but still rolling. When questioned by BCI agents, the man told them Stokes was obsessed with him and the relationship wasn't sexual. Stokes answers a little different.
Did you have a sexual relationship with him on that day? Yeah.
And the investigation revealed Stokes used a police database to search the man's personal information. And while on duty, he left the village to meet the man 15 to 20 minutes away at a pawn shop. That led to the theft in office conviction. Stokes is currently serving 180 days in a county jail. He was also sentenced to 3 years probation, community service, and a $2,000 fine.
Well, I'm so sorry. Let me listen to the punishment.
Office conviction. Stokes is currently serving 180 days in a county.
180 days for telling someone that he's going to arrest him if he doesn't get his alone time. He's going to arrest him. They put me in jail. They sentenced me to 180 days. My conviction was overturned on appeal, as a lot of you guys know. And I pointed a camera at a cop. This guy, 180 days.
County jail. He was also sentenced to 3 years probation.
3 years probation for threatening to arrest someone for not having sex with you.
Community service, and a $2,000 fine.
Community service and a $2,000 fine. How many days of that 180 days do you think you did in jail?
Back to you guys.
Just morbid and twisted.
2024, just before 10:30 in the morning, Mesa officers were called to a home on East 14th Place. The caller said his roommate was threatening her boyfriend with a knife and would not let him out of the bedroom.
Her boyfriend came home to check on her. They were in the bedroom, and she grabbed the knife, and now he's trying to get out to go to work, and she's mentally ill. Okay.
Okay. I wait. Concerned right now that he cannot get out of the room.
No, she won't let him out.
Officers had been to that address an hour and a half earlier for reports that the woman, later identified as 24-year-old Rachel Rodriguez, was threatening suicide. At that time, Rachel would not speak to officers and refused any crisis intervention help.
No.
When officers,
no, I'm so sorry. There's your crisis intervention help right there. Look at that. Look at who they sent. She's mentally ill, he said. And look at who you sent. Oh, we have to make sure everybody's safe. Willing to destroy your house, use a Bearcat, rip the walls out. Willing to do anything as long as they get to play G.I. Joe loser.
got to the scene, they could hear a man screaming for help from inside the home.
Yeah, because nothing escalates, nothing de-escalates like a bullhorn. Nothing de-escalates like a bullhorn. There's nothing better to de-escalate a situation than bringing out 10 guys with long-range rifles and a bullhorn.
Back. I'll get his coverage.
All right, come on up.
Oh, he's straight right there. You see him? No, straight back. Oh.
She's got a knife, boys. Bring the cavalry. I mean, look, she has a knife. She's mentally ill. And look who was sent.
Department, we are not going anywhere.
You got 20 guys out there with long-range rifles for a chick with a knife in a house, and they said she's mentally ill.
Come to the front door with nothing in your hand.
I don't want that PA yet.
Hold that.
You're just yelling help. Help again. Yeah, he's yelling help.
You get first to go in? What's that?
Yeah, he's yelling help again.
Yeah.
Bang or no bang? Yeah, let's go.
No bang.
Let's go.
I wonder what's going to go wrong. I wonder if they're going to go in there and kill people. What do you think? He's screaming, help, help.
Officers entered the house immediately to help the man and saw him with his arms in a hold around Rachel.
Put your knife down.
Rachel was ordered to drop the knife, but instead she raised the knife. And that's when the officer fired his duty weapon.
Why? He's got her hemmed up. He's got his hands wrapped up.
Here's the officer's body-worn camera.
So get rid of the blur so we can see.
Slow down so you can see her raise her hand.
Okay, so he's the great big fat guy, and she's got him. Okay, so she's got him. But we can't really see because they blurred it.
Yeah. Officers entered the house immediately to help the man and saw him with his arms in a hold.
Okay, so she's got him in a... Okay. So, okay. Why does your chick... How's your chick dominating you, bro? How does she have you in a hold? You haven't done enough, my friend.
Around Rachel.
Put your knife down.
Rachel was ordered to drop the knife, but instead she raised.
Is that Rachel behind? I mean, Rachel doesn't have any hair?
7680.
I'm sorry. It jumped screens on me here. I apologize.
The knife. And that's when the officer fired his duty weapon. Here's the officer's body-worn camera. Slow down so you can see her raise her hand.
Okay.
As officers turn Rachel over to render aid, a large knife with a yellow handle came out of
Okay, so she was the great big fat person.
her right hand. Here's that video again, slow down where you can get a clear view of the knife.
Who cares, man? You don't got to kill her.
Shortly after, Rachel was pronounced deceased.
Of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. Where's my police brutality? That's all I watch on the Reddit is police brutality.
From cop, since the murder of George Floyd, a former Minneapolis police officer will be released from.
So George Floyd happened in 2020, right? George Floyd happened in 2020. Is that correct? I think he did.
Since the murder of George Floyd, a former Minneapolis police officer will be released from prison.
In just a few hours, Thomas Lane will be moving into supervision after completing his sentences for aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter.
Thomas Lane is set to be released today and enter into supervision. When he does, he'll be the first among the former MPD officers convicted in George Floyd's death.
So these guys killed him like a gang, and he did a little less than 3 years in prison?
To leave prison. Until now, Lane had been serving out the rest of his state sentence. Back in April, he completed his federal sentence. Among state and federal charges, Lane was convicted of violating Floyd's civil rights by not intervening when Officer Derek Chauvin kneeled on Floyd's neck. And guys, we also know that of the 4 officers involved in the death of George Floyd, Derek Chauvin, he is serving the longest sentence with more than 20 years. Meanwhile, both Tu Tao and J. Alexander King, they'll complete their sentences next year. And as for Thomas Lane, his full sentence, including that supervision, that'll expire exactly 1 year out from today.
Horrible. I got this one for you. I don't know how much he's going to let me show. I mean, it's just horrible. He gets out of jail in 3 years. So this is...
Put your hands behind.
Okay, so I got to warn you with what you're about to see. So I'll turn it off before you see it. But this is the 1985 case of Tennessee versus Garner. The 1985 case of Tennessee versus Garner allows police to use lethal force when you're running away if it's in the name of officer safety, or that the community could be a danger. This is an extension of Terry versus Ohio. This is Tennessee versus Garner, which you're about to see, and I'll show you that case in a moment. Remember, I'll cut this off.
Put your hands behind your back.
Why don't
430, give me the channel.
the channel?
Put your hands behind your back.
I thought we were cool, bro.
Hey, put your hands behind your back, all right?
You gonna shoot me?
No.
Why you putting?
Just put your hands behind your back, all right? Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back, all right? Put your hands behind your back. Shots fired. Send EMS.
So The 1985 case of Tennessee versus Garner was tried in 1984. The opinion came out in 1985. If you get into the nuts and bolts of the case, it says that these are two consolidated cases, different defendants involving the same incident. During a police chase of Elton Hyman shot 15-year-old Edward Eugene Garner. Police officer Elton Hyman shot 15-year-old Edward Eugene Garner with a hollow tip bullet to prevent Garner from escaping over a fence. Garner was suspected of burglarizing a nearby house and stealing $10. Hyman admitted that before he shot, he saw no evidence that Garner was armed and figured he was unarmed. The bullet hit Garner in the back of the head, and then it spread out through his brain. Garner was taken to the hospital where he died. He was dead when he got shot. Garner's father sued, seeking damages for violations of Garner's constitutional rights. The district court entered judgment for the defendants because Tennessee law authorized the cops' actions to shoot him. The court also felt that Garner had assumed the risk of being shot by recklessly attempting to escape. Read that again. The court felt that Garner assumed the risk of being shot by trying to escape. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit reversed, holding that killing a fleeing suspect is a seizure under the Fourth Amendment, and such a seizure would only be reasonable if the suspect posed a threat to the safety of police officers, Terry versus Ohio, or the community at large. Does a statute authorizing the use of deadly force to prevent an escape of any fleeing suspect felon violate the Fourth Amendment? And what a weird combination to dissent. Yes, in a 6-3 decision, Justin Byron White wrote for the majority, affirming the Court of Appeals decision. The Fourth Amendment prohibits the use of deadly force unless it's necessary to prevent the escape of a fleeing felon and the officer has probable cause to believe that the suspect poses a significant threat of violence to the officer or the community. So all the cop has to say is that it's prohibited. The use of deadly force is prohibited. The Fourth Amendment says that when you're running away, you can't use deadly force unless it's necessary to prevent the escape of a fleeing felon and the officer has probable cause to believe that he's a danger. The Tennessee statute is unconstitutional as far as it allowed deadly force to prevent the escaping of an unarmed fleeing felon. Do you see how I've talked about this a dozen times? It's a nothing burger decision. So the Tennessee statute says, hey, you can't allow deadly force to shoot a fleeing felon. But then the Supreme Court federal holding says unless you're scared that he could be a danger. Justice Sandra Day O'Connor wrote a dissent stating that the majority went too far, invalidating long-standing common law and police practices contrary to the holding. Do you see that? These three didn't dissent because it was the right thing to do. Remember, the case was actually overturned. The Fourth Amendment prohibits the use of deadly force, and the Tennessee statute is unconstitutional. You can't shoot an unarmed fleeing felon unless. So these three only dissented because you were invalidating long-standing common law practice. So let me just tell you, I've done a deep dive on this. So on this exact case and the holding and the judges who were involved in the holding. So let me show you something. Blackman right here. From 1952 to 1962, the Model Penal Code, MPC, was written. The Model Penal Code was a guide for states to penalize, put people in prison for X, Y, and Z crimes. The Model Penal Code was written by Harry Blackman and another guy. And Blackman in the model penal code written from 1952 to 1962, the language matched the Tennessee statute that you could shoot an unarmed fleeing felon. Blackmun wrote it in the model penal code. This Supreme Court right here overrules the model penal code that says you can indeed shoot an unarmed fleeing felon. And the reason why Blackmun wrote it in there is because long-standing common law precedent had said that you could kill an unarmed fleeing felon. So Blackmun, in this decision, when he voted that it was unconstitutional to kill a unarmed fleeing felon, he reversed himself. He was the one who wrote the model penal code for the state of Tennessee, for all states to model after the model penal code. A lot of states did not adapt the model penal code for a decade or two until after the model penal code was established. They had their own state laws, and then eventually they started to adapt most of what was written in the model penal code. So this Supreme Court case here is literally a nothing burger because the cops can shoot you, and all they have to say is, you have both of them here. You have probable cause to believe, and unless they have probable cause to believe that maybe you could be a danger to other people, that maybe you could be a danger to other people. So that's it. It's literally a nothing burger case. And if I go back to the original video that we saw a moment ago, it says here, and read this: grand jury declines to indict Texas police officer for fatally shooting a man in the back. And so then when you go down in the comments in here, that's just murder, America's lost its mind, you can tell them there was a Supreme Court of the United States case called Tennessee versus Garner that legalized shooting people who run from police. I mean, and that's exactly what it does. That's exactly what it does. So I'll leave this here for the Redditors, and I will put the link here for Tennessee versus Garner. I don't have it pulled up anymore. I just have this, which is, it's just incredible. So I'll put it there. There it is. Now everybody can see it themselves. There it is. So you guys want a little side note here? What YouTube wants me to do, YouTube doesn't want me to broadcast in this format anymore. YouTube wants me to broadcast in this format. That's what they want. They want me, they're rewarding anybody who will broadcast in this parameter. But if you broadcast in 1920 by 1080, then they don't put your video out into the stream. They'll only show your video to so many people. So that's it. There's nothing I can do about it. There's that's what they're doing. So unless I want to what do you guys think? Do you want me to turn the videos vertical? If you want me to turn the videos vertical, I can, but I really don't like the vertical videos, Please, Chili, go to Rumble. There's just absolutely, it's just a ghost town for me on Rumble, or I would go. So another sovereign citizen, and I want you to listen carefully to the details of this. There are details in here. Don't miss them.
Hands in the air! Hands in the air! There! Stop! Stop right there! Stop! You're gonna get tased! Stop!
Hands in the air. Hands in the air.
Get back!
The hands in there.
Get back by the car.
Hands in there.
Body camera footage shows Robinson repeatedly say that his hands are in the air and ignore troopers' orders to go back to his car. He cooperates when the trooper asks him to move back to the sidewalk and puts handcuffs on him.
Do you have anything illegal on you? No. Why do you reek like alcohol? Huh? Don't you work for the PD? I believe it does.
This is not the first time I've had to ask the city of Springfield about an OVI charge for Officer Joseph Robinson. The last 2 times, court records show he's pleaded guilty to lesser charges. We talked to some people in the city today who say they want to know, how does this keep happening? It's a repeated accusation against a Springfield police officer, Joseph Robinson, cited for OVI.
With their position that they're in, they're supposed to be a role model for all of us. So it's just shocking that someone like that has done it multiple times.
In court documents, a state trooper wrote when he pulled over.
Oh, is it shocking? Is it really shocking? Put a 1 in the chat if it's not shocking.
The Springfield police.
Look, he's on the ground like a clown.
Officer Joseph Robinson, cited for OVI.
With their position that they're in, they're supposed to be a role model for all of us. So it's just shocking that someone like that has done it multiple times.
In court documents, a state trooper wrote when he pulled over Robinson, he tried to exit his vehicle but fell down in the street. You can see that in new cruiser cam video we got Monday. Along with something else the trooper described. Robinson started walking back toward my patrol car only wearing 1 shoe. In body cam video, you can see Robinson ignoring his commands to stop. The trooper had to point his taser at Robinson before he eventually listened.
Stop! You're going to get tased. Stop!
Hands in there. Hands in there.
Get back.
Hands in there.
Get back by the car.
Court documents say Robinson refused field sobriety and breathalyzer tests.
They need to be reprimanded.
He sounds like he's drunk.
Used field sobriety and breathalyzer tests.
They need to be reprimanded. Sure. He shouldn't be doing the job he's doing.
I asked the city for an on-camera interview Monday, something they said they're not doing right now. In a statement, Springfield's chief said Robinson is on administrative leave and the focus of an internal review. In previous reports, we showed you when a Clark County deputy pulled Robinson over for OVI in April 2019.
Joey, you been drinking tonight?
And when state troopers pulled over Robinson and cited him for OVI in May 2022. As for this most recent case,
I believe so. What are you doing? Why would you not comply?
I mean, you gotta be.
Did you hear this right here? I'm sorry. Listen.
And when state troopers pulled over Robinson and cited him for OVI in May 2022.
He's had 2 other ones that got swept under the rug and became lesser charges. That's what happened.
As for this most recent case,
if he had 1 DUI, he should have been gone, but he never got, it's in Ohio, so it's an OVI there, but he didn't get it. He got a lesser charge. You and I wouldn't get that.
I believe so. What are you doing? Why would you not comply?
I mean, you got to be treated like everybody else.
Court records I pulled today also show that state troopers gave Robinson a mandatory court appearance for the first time in this case on Thursday in Springfield.
Just sick. I mean, they literally are sovereign citizens. That's what they are. They're sovereign citizens. And they get to get away with and do whatever they want, but not you and I. You and I can't get away with anything. We are the focus of their whole world. They want to arrest us. Their goal is to arrest us. Put a 1 in the chat if you know that their goal is to arrest us. So real quick, I'll give a trifold away. Who wants a trifold but can't afford one right now? Shoot me an email right now at dlzclips@gmail.com. dlzclips@gmail.com. Right there's the email address. If you can't afford a trifold, I will give you one for free. I will send one out to you. So let's put a 1 in the chat if you have a trifold already. Let's get a trifold out there. Invoke your 5th Amendment right. I will give a trifold away to one person here. He's an activist. He's an activist is what they're saying. So I want to give away a free one to somebody who needs it. So email me. How about you don't have to put your name in the chat. Just email me at dlzclips@gmail.com. I don't know where it went. There it is. Email me at dlzclips@gmail.com, and I will send you off a free trifold and free cop cards. If you can afford one, go to deletelaws.com with a Z and buy a trifold, and I'll still give you, even if you can afford one, I'll still give you the cop cards for free. I'll give them to you for free. So this guy was put on email me right now. There's the address right down there, dlzclips@gmail.com. You can see it right down there. Shoot me an email right now, and I will send it to you for free, because I want everybody to have it. Let me go like this. Copy. Ohio. Oh man, is it Ohio again? Oh my God. The another video from Ohio. This is so unbelievable. Yeah, from Ohio again.
ABC6 News at 5 on your side starts now.
We begin tonight with a Franklin County deputy accused of raping a child. Charles Davis indicted on a total of 58 counts, including 32 counts of rape. U.S. Marshals Task Force arresting Davis today in Ross County. He's spent nearly a year now on administrative leave.
We want to get straight out to Kate Seifert, who joins us live in Ross County tonight. Kate, what are you learning?
Well, Bob Stacia, I have my hand on the indictment for Charles Davis. It lays all of those charges, all of those counts, I should say, that you just mentioned. According to these records, we also know that the victim is under 13 years old. BCI is investigating this case. As you mentioned, U.S. Marshals went to Davis's home today, took him into custody. But an update from the court docket that we just received within the last hour shows that he was released on a recognizance bond. He is on a GPS monitor.
What? He's been arrested for graping a kid. Why would he be released on his own? I'm so confused here.
Today took him into custody, but an update from the court docket that we just received within the last hour shows that he was released on a recognizance bond.
I'm just so, I mean, it's so disgusting. If you or I was charged with doing that to a child, we would be in jail. If you were charged with doing that to a kid 50 times, you would be in a jail cell. You would be in jail. Put a one in the chat if you would be in jail. Put a one in the chat if you would be in jail. Oh, thank you, mystery -1. I'm trying to see what that is. Thank you. I appreciate that. Charlie will be okay. You would be in a dungeon right now if you were facing 58 sex crime charges. There would be no releasing you on your own recognizance. Why is this cop let out of jail right now?
He's on a GPS monitor, but a judge ruling he should have no contact with the victim or any other children. Now, we just a conversation with the Ross County prosecutor here. He calls this case and all of these 58 counts horrible. Take a listen.
It is horrible. Unfortunately, it's not uncommon to see this kind of stuff in our line of work. To see it being done by a law enforcement officer is a little different.
Here's another look at.
Sorry, what did he just say?
See this kind of stuff in our line of work. To see it being done by a law enforcement officer is a little different.
Wait a minute. I'm so sorry. He said that to see charges of a cop abusing their power and pushing their mental illness onto people, it's rare. I've covered dozens of cops on this channel who've been charged with sexual assault. Dozens and dozens and dozens. And Jeffrey Marks is saying it's rare for a copper. We see it all the time. It's a regular thing. What are you talking about? I mean, like literally, what are you even talking about? You're lying.
Here's another look at Charles Davis. We have both his mugshot from this week and his headshot from the Franklin County Sheriff's Office from 2022.
To see it being done by a law enforcement officer is a little different.
So this is his mugshot now. Did he lose a bunch of weight? He looks looks like a different guy there. This is his recent mugshot.
Here's another look at Charles Davis. We have both.
But that's what he looks like in his right here. He's got a great big double chin and tons of weight. I look at myself right now.
His mugshot from this week and his headshot from the Franklin County Sheriff's Office from 2022. The Ross County prosecutor says on Friday, a grand jury indicted Davis on 32 counts of rape and 26 counts of gross sexual imposition. These alleged incidents happening between March of 2020, when the prosecutor says he moved into Ross County, through the middle of October 2022, when he was no longer a resident here in the county. The prosecutor, though, would not confirm if Davis and the victim were living in the same household when I asked, but the prosecutor did tell me that Davis did everything he could to keep his actions a secret.
He took as many opportunities as he could to make sure this information didn't get out, that the victim of this offense not notify family and say anything that happened.
The Franklin County Sheriff's Office says they have launched their own internal investigation. In a statement, Sheriff Dallas Baldwin says they are committed to maintaining the highest standards of conduct and accountability, adding that he wants to ensure citizens the department is dedicated to transparency, professionalism, and the safety of the community. I also reached out to the police union. The FOP represents the Franklin County Sheriff's Office. I am waiting for a statement from their team, but we do know that Davis is expected to be back in court later in August. So we'll, of course, keep you updated and have another report for you in our next hour. For now, live on your side in Ross County, I'm Kate Seifert, ABC 6 News.
I mean, I don't understand how the guy is. I don't understand how he's been released on his own recognizance. Like, I don't understand. Like, he's charged with dozens of counts of.
I didn't do anything.
Welcome back to the lackluster Ryan and his neighbors, and how which derailed mine Ryan
Was this? I wanted the end of this video.
Ryan's clearly established constitutional rights and asked the judge to dismiss the lawsuit before it goes to trial. But in July, a U.S. district judge called her argument misplaced and abandoned, as it was a premature bid to invoke qualified immunity without actually calling it such, adding, quote, "I cannot find as a matter of law at this stage in the proceedings that defendant Guerrero is entitled to qualified immunity."
So this cop was recharged. I've got some fundamental things that I just am the way.
You hit kids! Hey! You hit kids! You just punched my daughter! You just punched my daughter! She didn't you! Shut the up! No! Punch my daughter! Back up! You just punched my daughter! I've got it! I've got it! You punch first! You punch first! I've got it! You punch kids! Where do you work? Where do you work? Where do you work? You punch kids! You punch 12-year-olds!
Is this douchebag putting his radio on? Look at him.
Where do you work? Where do you work?
Okay.
Where do you work? You punch kids! You punch 12-year-olds! Answer my phone! They beat the out of him! They punching on people!
Why is he punching the guy like that?
I got.
Oh, holy shit! He's hitting this guy as hard as he can.
They punching on people.
So the guy's down on the ground. He's got both of them have their knees on the ground on top of him. He's face down on the ground. We can see that. And he's punching him as hard as he possibly can.
They punching on people.
As he's face down on the ground. You can see his pelvis is right there. He's face down on the ground. Why is he punching him like that? Now he's sticking his knee on the back of his neck. Wow.
I got it.
This was video that you first saw here on 13. This is of an off-duty Galveston police officer hitting multiple people at a children's pool party over in Galveston.
So today, ABC 13 has learned that Officer Jared Rivas is fired, and the families involved are seeking legal action.
This is the law firm working in partnership with those families that are seeking potential legal action against former Officer Jared Rivas, the Galveston Police Department, the apartment complexes where this happened, as well as UTMB.
Mothers whose children were attacked say their trust in law enforcement is broken.
It's terrifying. It really is. I've lost a lot of trust. And thinking we were safe.
Back in June, we showed you this video of off-duty Galveston police officer Jared Rivas coming to break up a children's pool party. It descended into chaos with multiple videos surfacing of Rivas pinning and beating people.
An officer of the law who the kids are supposed to trust and have faith and look up to, we're now harming them and their siblings and friends.
Now the families involved, alongside the Ruiz law firm, are bringing legal action against multiple parties. They want Rivas, who has since been fired from the force, to be charged and stripped of his ability to be a law enforcement officer.
It wouldn't be surprising if he was picked up by another local law enforcement agency, and that's a concern that we have.
The families are also seeking legal action against the Galveston police.
Well, it's good to hear that people are finally starting to get smart and realize.
Sir.
It wouldn't be surprising if he was picked up by another local law enforcement agency, and that's a concern that we have.
The families are also seeking legal
That's a concern we all have, brother.
action against the Galveston Police Department, who they say made no effort to stop Rivas's tirade after they arrived.
Despite numerous uniformed officers being able to take control of the situation, they didn't. They just added to the chaos and confusion.
They also
okay, so there. I'm sorry for interrupting, but this is for my editors right here, and this is for all the good cops out there who I got tons of emails after I posted it in Ask Law Enforcement. People emailed me, cops saying stuff to me. Okay, this is why, to the cops that emailed me, I can't email you all back, but the cops that emailed me, this right here is the reason why people say that there's no good cops. This right here, to all the good cops out there, listen carefully. You can see the beat down, hoedown happening here as this guy's punching the guy who's face down. And now listen to this, to the good cops, okay?
no effort to stop Rivas's tirade after they arrived.
Despite numerous uniformed officers being able to take control of the situation, they didn't. They just added to the chaos and confusion.
They also notified.
Do you see? Do the good cops understand the reason why we don't say that they're... What percentage of cops are good? Give me your percentage of good cops in the chat right now. What's your percentage of good cops? I just want to see. What's the percentage? Is it 1% are good, 2%, 10%, 20%, 30%? What's the percentage that are good? And so for the good cops, take a look at what the people think.
To stop action against the Galveston Police Department.
And that's a concern that we have.
Now, listen here.
Families are also seeking legal action against the Galveston Police Department.
They're seeking legal action against the Galveston Police Department. Well, why are they doing that? How come they're seeking legal action against the Galveston Police Department? How come?
And who they say made no effort to stop Rivas's tirade after they arrived.
They made no effort to stop Rivas's tirade even after they arrived.
Despite numerous uniformed officers being able to take control of the situation, they didn't. They just added to the chaos and confusion.
They also notified the Island Bay Resort apartments where the incident occurred. The family's lawyer saying Rivas was there as a security officer, and if visiting families are not welcome, it was not made clear. And finally, against UTMB Hospital, whom the one mother claims refused her children treatment when it came to light they were the family involved in the incident.
The cops sucking at the hospital?
And finally, against UTMB Hospital, whom the one mother claims refused her children treatment when it came to light they were the family involved in the incident.
So because they were the family involved in the incident, then they don't get health care? That's how deep the cop sucking goes? You cop sucking people. I didn't get to see the percentages because I was watching the video. I didn't get to see what you guys put in here for the percentage of good cops there are. I'm just wondering what the percentage is. I'll sit here and take a moment now and look, if you don't mind reposting your answer. What's the percentage of good cops? Maybe 2%. So Sir Johnson said maybe 2%, and about 5% of sheriff's department are good. Okay, thank you for your answer. I appreciate it. 0, 86 day tones says 0. 0 says Reverend Sean Murphy. 0.1% says it is what it is. I mean, what 0%, 0.1%? My percent is a nationwide percent. 10% says Frank that are good cops. 0, 0, 0. Mikey says 0. Christopher says 10%. Minus 20. And the reason why to the good cops, well, the reason why to the people watching this, the reason why Chris Beaumont says there's 0 good cops is because when the cops showed up, the families believed that the good cops would stop the craziness from the bad cops, but they didn't. They added to it. That's what they did. That's what they did. They added to it. So this is all right. You watch.
Bravo, you can join service.
Hey, sir. Driving a U-Haul?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you talk to me real quick over here? Of course. All right, we're going to go right over for a minute.
What did I do?
What?
I said, what did I do?
All right. It's right here. All right. Right now you're being detained, okay? So this report's stolen.
So why do you got to go in torture cuffs?
Why? Since when?
You're not in arrest, you're just being detained, okay?
What's report is stolen?
All right. 2 Tom Bravo, hold the channel, send me a unit to Sicko up here by North Walmart.
What the?
Oh, he really did go for his gun, though, didn't he?
To Sicko up here by North Walmart.
What the?
Sir, you're good. Get off my gun. Sicko one. Go to my gun.
What report is stolen?
So let me just point something out here for you guys, for you guys watching. How many videos have we ever seen anybody go for their gun? This is the only video. This is the only video I've ever seen where someone went for the cop's gun. This is the only one I've ever seen in the history of me watching videos.
Sir, get off my gun. Signal one. Just start off. Signal one. Sir, you're not going to jail right now, right? Get off my gun.
Nah, you're gonna...
I'm not going.
Look.
Get off my gun! Get off my gun! Let's go for my gun! Let's go for my gun!
Would you help the copper? How many people here would help the copper? How many people would help the cop? How many people would help the cop? I just want to know. Put a 1 in the chat if you would not help. Put a 2 in the chat if you would help him. Put a 1 if you would help him. Put a 2 if you wouldn't. 1 if you would, 2 if you wouldn't. Because 1's always yes. So 1 if you would help him, 2 if you wouldn't.
Please just get back.
Get off my gun! on, brother. Hey, sir.
Can I do something?
Driving a U-Haul?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you talk to me real quick over here? Of course. All right, we're going to go right over here, man.
What did I do?
What?
I said, what did I do?
All right. It's right here. All right? Right now you're being detained, okay? This report's stolen.
Why? Since when?
You're not in a restaurant, you're just being detained, okay?
What's reported stolen?
All right. 2-Ton Bravo, hold the channel, send me a unit to Sicko up here by North Walmart.
What the
Sure, you're good. Get off my gun. Signal one, go to my gun.
What's reported stolen?
Sure, get off my gun. Signal one, just start off. Signal one. Sir, you're not going to jail right now, right? Get off my gun.
You're going to jail. Bro, you're going to jail. You grab a cop's gun, you're going to jail. He's even lying during the fight. That's the worst part.
Look. Get off my gun! Get off my gun! He's going for my gun! He's going for my gun!
Please just get back.
Get off my gun!
Where is it?
Oh,
Just
shit.
to the Walmart.
What about the McDonald's right behind the guy? Why is he shooting at the McDonald's? What is he? What the hell?
Just crashed into the Walmart.
He didn't crash into the Walmart. He crashed into the McDonald's. That dude really just shot 15 shots at a freaking McDonald's?
What, in the car. In the car. What car? The SUV. In the SUV. Get down on the ground. Get down on the fucking ground. He's on top of me. Watch crossfire. Watch crossfire. You good, Ryan? Come here, brother. Here, brother. Let's go. Let's go.
Ryan, where you shot?
Where you shot?
Tell me. Set him down.
921.
Now look at how they can actually render first aid. You ready?
Several shots fired. We got the guy. We're going to reach this
Where he shot? I don't know.
We got an officer. Check him if he's been hit. Everybody expedite. Go.
Boy, look how fast they can render aid. Pretty fast.
Where you at? Get the blow out kid. Keep going, man. Keep going, man. Don't even bother. Leave him how he is.
Leave the guy how he is.
Pendle. McDonald. Where are you hit, bro? You ever hit? I don't know. This is rescue. This guy, he's right here. He's right here. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. He's dead. Make sure he's good to go.
Hey, cut his pants off. That constitutes his pants off.
Look how quick they can do first aid, man. Wow.
Is he hit anywhere? They're checking.
Wow. Look at how quickly they can render aid.
Hey, all right, we're gonna go right over here, man. It's right here.
We already. I thought we already saw this.
Hey, Chris, where we at? In the car. Get down on the ground. Get down on the fucking ground. Watch crossfire. Watch crossfire. You good, Ryan? Come here, brother. Okay, we're going. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, where you shot? Where you shot? Shots fired. Check him. He going, man. Don't even bother. Leave him how he is. He going, man. He going, man. Don't even bother.
Oh, you mean you don't want to cuff up the dead guy? You sure, bro? You sure you don't want to cuff up the dead guy? He's gone. He got shot in the head, so we know he's dead. So there's no point in cuffing him.
Leave him how he is. Pendle. McDonald's.
Well, there it is. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. It says here, no concern for the people inside the McDonald's. That's what I just said. I just said that. No concern for the people inside the McDonald's. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I'm so sorry. Hold on one second here. I need about a 2-second real quick intermission here.
In the year 2002, I was no-knock raided by the chief of police, Michael Moore, of LAPD with an entire SWAT team twice in the same month. Since that date, I began studying the history of America and constitutional law. I am an autodidactic constitutional law scholar. Over the past couple years, what I've done is I've been able to devise a system, understanding that the police have created a very rigid set of policies, procedures, and protocols that they use to arrest you. I've also created a very rigid set of policies, procedures, and protocols for you to follow that gives you back the power when you're forced to interact with these jackboot thug. It has become a tyrannical jackboot thug police state, prison state, death state. I will win the governorship and I will change the policies from the top down.
Hi, I'm Corporal Wayne with the Ozaukee County Sheriff's Office. The reason I pulled you over is you don't have any tail lights on.
So cops got me pulled over. First thing I'm going to do when I start recording is I'm going to put this hand right here. You see that? You see how that works? This hand is now up in the air. My camera is going to bright up the sky. So if it's nighttime, then the coppers can see that the camera is in my hand. You can see that my hand is here. The other hand goes up into the window. I'm in touchdown position right here. My hands look like they're a goalpost. This hand is actually, I took my little miniature armrest right here. I put it up right here. Bam. This is how I use my trifold. If anything happens to me, I'm all set right here. Okay, now that I got this like this, my camera's rolling. Most important thing. Second thing, my elbow goes in the windowsill right there. Do you see that? My elbow goes in the windowsill right there. There it is, right there. Now, with this hand up in the air and this hand up in the windowsill right here, I'm all set. I'm all set. The most I'm going to do is take the same hand right here, reach down and slightly roll my window down just a scooch. I'm all set up. I'm in touchdown position. This hand is rolling camera. This hand is up here so that I can reach up and grab my trifold and my proof of identification and my license. Everything is up in my visor. When that copper comes up to my window and he says, "Do you know why I pulled you over? Do you know how fast you were going? How come you didn't pull over right away?" If he says, "Hey, can I get your license, registration, and proof of insurance?" Great. Because this hand is not going to have a camera in it. The one that I got my hand in now. My camera's in this hand over here. I'm in touchdown position, just like a goalpost. Now, from right here, I'm going to reach over and I'm going to, with the same hand that this phone's in, I'm going to reach over and grab my license, registration, and proof of insurance that is in my trifold right here. It's inside my trifold. Here's my license, registration, and proof of insurance right there. I got everything right there. See how that works? I'm just going to slide that bad chicken out. There's everything I have to provide by law right there. License, registration, proof of insurance. I have everything right next to my trifold. Now, no matter what he says from there, I don't care what he says. How fast were you going? Are you going to your grandma's house? Are you the big bad wolf? No matter what he says, I'm not going to answer any of his questions. I take my license, registration, proof of insurance that will be in my left hand, and I give it to him. You got it on video?
Not your actual.
No, that's not that, but that's got my DL number right on the top.
Okay.
D1940.
So you have your actual driver's license?
Well, I mean, that is an actual photocopy of my driver's license, a laser copy. Actually, if I take the rest of the tape off there, it looks prettier than my actual driver's license. There you go. I don't want to deal with, he didn't identify himself. He didn't have his registration. He didn't have his current ID. He didn't have his current insurance card. No, no, no. I have everything ready to go. It's right here with the same hand right here. I'm going to take it like this. And I'm just going to slip my information right out the cracked window for that jackboot thug pig. Put it in the comment section. JBTP, jackboot thug pig. Put it in the comment section. I don't have a back and forth with the pig. I don't do that. I do not have a back and forth with that pig. Where are you going? Where are you heading? All that? No, 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 no. I'm not going to answer any questions. I'm not even going to entertain it. Not going to nod, nothing. I'm going to give him my license, registration, proof of insurance. I'm just going to slip it right there. That's how it's going to work. Here's my license, my registration, and my proof of insurance. Here's the insurance. Here's the rental car agreement. And my driver's license is right here. If you're poor and white or black or brown, don't reach around because you could die. It's a real thing. It's a reality here. So now I'm not going to get myself killed because I didn't follow a very rigid set of policies, procedures, and protocols. I'm recording everything with my phone from over here. Everything's being recorded. You see that? The phone is facing me, so my head is the most important thing. Now, once I've given him my license, registration, proof of insurance, I'm filming everything. He asked me where I'm going. I say I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. Okay. If you ask me another question, you're violating my rights, and I'll file a lawsuit against you. Write your ticket, do what you're going to do, but don't harass me any further. Your Honor, I'm showing him on camera that I'm invoking my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. Piggy loses qualified immunity for questioning me. Say it with me. Piggy loses qualified immunity for questioning me. This is how it goes. This is the way it is. Now, if he says, where are you going? Where are you coming from? Do you have a firearm in the car? I'm then going to take my trifold and point at it, and I'm going to go down the list of questions. Don't ask me. Perfect. I'm sorry. I had to check on my dog. My dog is super sick, and so I had to check on him. I apologize. I am selling the trifold right now, and I give you the cop cards for free. I am, what is it? Is it, it's Tuesday. I'll do 2 for 1 this weekend. For now, I'll give you guys free cop cards with the trifold. Go to deletelaws.com with a Z and get into it because it's you have to have you have to have a trifold in your car. Like I mean, in all seriousness, like I know, it's my mission to get a trifold in every single car in the country, period. For you to invoke your Fifth Amendment right, for you to use your camera properly, just like this, when you invoke your Fifth Amendment right with your camera, it is my mission to get this in every single. And if you guys get a trifold, I'll give you the cop cards for free, which have a lot of the same case law on them, but the driver and non-driver card, I got bunches of these. So go to Delete Laws right now, deletelaws.com, and get a trifold. If you already have one, get another one and give it to your friend, your best friend, your cousin, your lover. It's indestructible trifold. It doesn't tear real easy. It's resistant to coffee. You can't spill on it. Get it. You need it. You absolutely have to have it. Everybody has to have one. If you can't afford one, email me. I'll give you one for free. Like that's where I'm at. You got to have one in your car. Okay. So I went to college in Phoenix. Listen to this.
Officers violently arrested this man. Why? It's because he insulted one of them. We uncovered this case, and it's now cited in the DOJ's final investigation against Phoenix police. I'm ABC 15 Chief Investigator Dave Biskuping, and this is another story in a special series.
Dave Biskuping, dude, Ali Baba. This guy, Dave Biskuping, you are absolutely amazing, bro. Singing your praise.
We're taking the DOJ's written report and turning it into video. Now, the video you just saw is part of a larger pattern. The DOJ found it's a pattern of Phoenix officers unlawfully retaliating against critics. The feds covered that issue on pages 81 through 84. And as always, we want you to follow along. Just scan the code for an official copy of the DOJ's report.
I was knocking on your window.
Phoenix PD officers unlawfully arrest or use force in response to criticism, insults, or perceived disrespect during daily encounters. Often, within seconds, officers react with force to verbal slights. That's what the DOJ wrote, and that's exactly what we exposed.
In your way until you stop. Don't. Okay.
Well, this arrest didn't make the news. No deaths, no shots. So while a case like this flies under the radar, make the news.
Watch the cop, how he tries to grab the guy's arm and act like he's a ninja, like he's doing some sort of ninja move to him as he twists the guy's arm who's not expecting to be attacked.
Stop. Don't. Okay.
You're full of shit is what he says. And now he's going to go both hands on this wrist. He's going to try to hurt the guy's arm. You see that?
Well, this arrest didn't make the news. No deaths, no shots. So while a case like this flies under the radar, it's also the kind of arrest that can grab the attention of federal investigators. Remember, right now in Phoenix, Phoenix police are under a top-to-bottom Department of Justice investigation.
It turns out it was a case that caught the DOJ's attention because it's listed as their top example. Quote, for instance, while this investigation was ongoing, in 2022, Phoenix PD officers slammed a man into a police cruiser and began to arrest him seconds after he insulted an officer. Our story showed what happened.
We're across the street from where it happened. When did it happen? So it happened August 2nd of 2022.
This is Kenny Ronald McDonald, and we're across the street from PLEA, the Phoenix Law Enforcement Association, the police union. It's not the wisest place to do what Kenny did. While an officer was parked in the PLEA parking lot, he rode by and insulted the officer. Now, the audio doesn't begin until this point.
Have a good day.
Another officer shows up.
You know we could go code 6 and for riding left to center.
Go code 6 for him riding left of center on his bike.
We could.
They claim Kenny continued to insult them from the sidewalk. After 10 minutes, the second officer pulls out of the parking lot. You can see Kenny ride up, knock on the window.
Can you help me out with something? What do you need? There's a bunch of people that need help over. You guys help people, right?
He might be trolling just a little bit, right? You guys help people, right?
Help me out with something? What do you need? There's a bunch of people that need help over. You guys help people, right? What do you need? Do you help people? I'm asking.
The man confronted the officer to point out that police were not helping unhoused people across the street. As the man complained, the officer told him by arguing he was obstructing police operations.
Yeah, get in my way. It's called obstructing police operations. Oh, yeah? I'm going to a call right now. So, if you don't need anything... I wasn't in your way until you stopped. Don't... Okay.
The man laughed and called the officer a dumb. Immediately, the officer grabbed the man's arm and slammed him.
You can't say dumbass? I'm so confused. You can't say the word dumbass anymore? That's not a word. You can't say those words.
Into the police cruiser in order to arrest him.
I called him a dumb, and it's very clear that sent him over the edge. And
big time.
Yeah, he arrested me.
Our reporting also exposed other problems with the arrest, problems not cited in the DOJ's report. For example, Phoenix officers are not allowed to physically force someone to provide fingerprints, but they did.
I'm not going to give you my fingerprints, man. It's not up to you. I know, but I'm just not going to. Well, it's not up to you. Okay, I know. All right, we'll pull you out and we'll force you then.
Pull you out and we'll force you then.
Stop. Stop.
What
Relax your hand.
There, look. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hate to interrupt the video. Forgive me, you guys. For the good cops out there, for all the good cops, are you listening? For the good cops, I've been talking about this all week. Putting your hand on the back of someone's head whose arms are cuffed behind their backs, and then pushing their face into the concrete, breaking their bones. That's what's happening all over the country. Yeah, not a good look for the good cops. For all the good cops out there, this is for you. Putting your hand and pushing people's faces into concrete, into gravel, into mud, into dirt, into grass, whatever you're pushing their face down into. Grass would be the lightest one. Yeah, for the good cops, not a good look for you guys. For all the good ones who are going to stand up and say, hey, don't push his face down into the ground like that. I'm just waiting for those good ones. That's all. So when you guys want to speak up, I'll start saying there's a bunch of good cops out there.
One of the main cops involved was this officer. We've told you about him before. He's the one who shot a protester in the groin in 2020. The shot leading to this hate speech inspired challenge coin. Now, we also exposed that officer and another involved in this arrest were both on the Brady list, and police and prosecutors didn't drop the charges until the
torturing him.
Morning of trial. That's when a judge.
He's hurting him because he's in torture cuffs. You see his wrist right here. All you have to do is take his wrist and fold it over. You see how he's got his wrist folded? He's torturing him right here. Do you see that? His wrist is being full. Now what he's going to do is he's going to switch and he's going to bend this wrist over.
And police and prosecutors didn't drop the charges until
there it is. There it is right there.
The morning.
So for the good cops out there, let me show you what I'm talking about here, okay?
We're both.
Let's first talk about the torture here.
On the Brady list.
Let's talk about the torture.
Police and prosecutors didn't drop the charges until the morning.
What's that? What is that?
We're both on the Brady list. And police.
Hold on. Sorry about that. Let's just slow it down a little bit.
The prosecutors didn't drop the charges until the.
What do we say around here? Torture cuffs are always torture. Put in the comments. Torture cuffs are always torture. Hey, for the good cops, isn't he torturing him using torture cuffs right there? I'm just wondering. Oh, I can use my snaggletooth now. Hey, all you good cops out there. Hey, ain't that torture right there? Aren't you looking at torture? Ain't that torture? That looks like torture to me. I wasn't sure, but I thought for sure that was torture, especially because you can hear him scream, ow, when you rip his wrist like that. You can hear it, but let's see.
Speech inspired challenge.
Let's see if we can hear it in real time.
Coin. Now, we also exposed that officer and another involved in this arrest were both on the Brady list, and police and prosecutors didn't drop the charges until the morning of trial.
Ow.
That's when a judge ruled officials could not hide those officers' troubled pasts from the jury.
The fact that the officer was on the Brady list is relevant, and the court will deny the request that precluded from testimony in this matter.
But Turiano wasn't the only officer on scene with a history. Remember the first officer, Brian Alvarado? Well, on the morning of trial, prosecutors claimed they just got a new internal investigation showing Alvarado submitted timesheets requesting to be paid for more hours than he worked.
And we've got this report from Alvarado today. The state no longer believes we have a reasonable likelihood of conviction, so it's in the interest of justice to dismiss it.
Somebody help me!
Here's the last thing the DOJ wrote about this arrest.
So
when we spoke to,
do you see how hard they're
interest of justice to dismiss it.
Okay, do you see how hard they're pushing his face down into the concrete? Watch. Look. He's grinding his face into the marble floor.
Here's the last thing the DOJ wrote about this.
Look what he's doing.
Arrest. When we spoke to the man, he told us he had multiple cuts and bruises from the encounter and continues to experience nerve damage from his injuries over a year later. He explained that he sometimes changes his route to avoid passing a police station. I'm moving.
Look at his face. Look at his face. Look, you can see it. That's what they did to him by pressing his face into the ground.
Moving around the city much differently, he said.
You're bringing this on yourself. Oh yeah. I'm proud of your bravery for surviving.
The bottom line here.
I'm proud of your bravery for surviving.
I'm proud of your bravery for surviving.
The bottom line here, the DOJ says Phoenix officers don't understand free speech, and they don't understand that you can't hurt someone or arrest someone just because they get called a bad name. And the internal investigation into the incident you just saw highlights that further. Records show 2 officers were given a written warning for forcibly taking fingerprints, but there was no investigation into whether the arrest was retaliatory. You can catch up on our series at abc15.com/DOJ. I'm investigator Dave Biscoving, ABC 15, Arizona.
Wow. Not a shocker there. Anonymous tip leads to investigation. Arrest of former California Highway Patrol officer. on workers' comp fraud allegations. Is there a video of it or not? A former highway patrol officer has been arrested on suspicion of committing workers' compensation fraud. Jordan Lester made an insurance claim back in 2021. His doctor placed him off work by January 2022, but an anonymous tip prompted investigators into Lester. The allegations found that Lester had been taking part in activities he shouldn't have been. Exactly what kind of activities was not detailed. Committed perjury. 44 was arrested, and Quincy has been booked into Plumas County Jail. Oh, see, if you leave the gang, you see, if you leave the gang but take the gang's money, ooh, don't you take the gang's money and not participate in the gang. Don't you dare take the money. You know, for all the good cops out there, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Former police officer charged with assault and terroristic threats. What is this one here? The Georgia Bureau of Investigations has arrested and charged former Soperton Police Department officer Kenneth Bishop in Swainsboro. Swinesboro? Should we call that? In Swinesboro with 3 counts of assault and aggravated. I mean, this is what I'm trying to get across to the good cops. We keep on seeing video after video after video, news article after news article that you guys are doing it completely wrong, that you're doing it wrong and you're screwing everything up. That's what you're doing. And so if there's good cops amongst you, then why don't you do your job? Why don't you do your job and arrest these bad people? Donald Trump says it's illegal to criticize his Supreme Court.
Harasses our judges and harasses our justices. They scream at them. They call them names. They say they're incompetent. They're horrible. They're this, they're that. They should be impeached. They're constantly saying they should be impeached. But they're screaming. And you know what? It has an effect on some people. But so far, they've been very strong. It's really horrible. I believe it's illegal what they do. And I'm trying to give you things that you've never heard before, and this is true. I believe they are playing the ref. They're constantly criticizing some of our greatest justices and a lot of great judges.
But I want to focus on what he said right here. Sorry about that.
They're constantly I'm trying to give you things that you've never heard. Really horrible. I believe it's illegal what they.
It's illegal to criticize the Supreme Court justices?
Horrible. I believe it's illegal what they do. And it's
illegal.
I'm trying to give you things that you've never heard before.
No, we've heard it before from authoritarians and dictators. We've heard it before. But just so you guys know, I mean, and this is going to be a bombshell for some of you, and for less of you, whatever. Some of you guys know who I am. I'm voting for Robert Kennedy Jr., who may drop out and endorse Trump. But here's the point. I would vote for Trump over Kamala because you just heard he wants to criminalize speech. He wants to indemnify police. I would rather Trump got in because it would create such a backlash of people who would want to prove that most of the cops are corrupt because of the policies, procedures, and protocols. And they're violent, inhumane, and barbaric. I think more people would film cops if Trump gets in and tries to indemnify police. Kamala will cop suck all the way, but she'll talk out of both sides of her mouth. And as long as you're lying to people constantly, they're happy with it. As long as you tell them what they want to hear, Kamala will lie to both people and say, I'm reining in the cops as she helps the cops. Whereas Trump will try to indemnify them, and that'll create a whole legion of people who want to prove that cops are effed up. And more people will start to film the cops. is what will happen. So that's that's what I think. I think more people will film cops if we do it if we just allow them to get caught. My thoughts. How long is this? So no, ideas are kind of like a-holes. Everybody has one. Have you guys? This is pretty cool, but I listened to this one already. Former Danville police sergeant who lost his composure pleads guilty to violently beating an inmate. Do you see this? Police sergeant who lost his composure pleads guilty to violently beating inmate. Officer removed his badge and firearm, walked into the cell, and violently beat him. I can't answer. I've been kicked out of this subreddit forever, but I still follow it. I'll be 41 when I retire from military service. Will I be too old to start a law enforcement career in Texas or New Mexico? I mean, if you really want to have a good time, you can just go right down this subreddit. Let me see what you guys can see. Let me open it big for you guys so you can see it. So this is the subreddit of Ask Law Enforcement. If you've never seen it before, it's all the body cams that I've seen, canines, officers tracking their dog. Not one has their gun out. Is it because it's not smart aiming a weapon with one hand and the other the leash of a canine? Is there another reason I'm not thinking? Thanks, y'all. Just where I went into Ask Law Enforcement. Are they gonna? Is this all Ask Law Enforcement? Oh, it's from different people. Yeah, I saw that. I'm not gonna watch it. Preferences between a police or military background. I mean, this is the problem with the wars that we have in this country, right? We have a war and it creates an entire class of people who are used to taking orders, being told what to do, that it's normal to dehumanize other people, to cuff them up, to POW them. It's perfectly normal to treat people that way. They learned it in the military. Then they come home and they see it here and it's perfectly normal in their mind to do it. It is not normal. It is not okay to put people in torture cuffs and arrest them. I'm going to become a cop because we can expose all the corruption from the inside. No, you're not. You're really, 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 really not. It's such a dark, disgusting profession that you just can't. Look at this shirt he's wearing. Look at this shirt he's wearing. It's just so bad. It's just so. First responder cringe. If you guys have not been down the subreddit of first responder cringe, I gotta turn the music off. But don't let my gentle kindness fool you. What does it say? I know. I'm a badass mofo. A lot of them call me sir. Don't let my gentle kindness fool you. I know 10 badass motherfuckers and they all call me sir. Oh, 10 badasses? Not cops, bro. Not cops. Ugh. Oh, this is the guy yesterday. Oh, this is where all This guy's promoting himself as a single cop, and then there he is walking by with his. Those guys look like cops. It's just, you just get so grossed out by seeing this disgusting police state, prison state celebrated by. Ugh, ugh. Anyway, listen, I got an audit coming out tomorrow. I did another police audit. You guys can watch it tomorrow. It's going to come out tomorrow. Pretty much the rest of my evening I'm going to spend with my dog and make sure he doesn't. I'll show you Charlie if you want. Come here, Charlie. Do you feel like getting up? Come here, buddy. No, he's down. Yeah. He's not good. Charlie's not good. Anyway, do me a favor. Put in the comment section, OTVO, overturn Terry versus Ohio. Oh, I realized I didn't really call out any names because my teeth are broken. I got a great big gap in my teeth right now, and the show must go on. We have to continue, but I have to get my teeth fixed again, but that won't happen for a week, so it sucks. I just got to keep on going. So it's like, we don't stop. I'm not going to stop. I mean, it's your own Chevy. There you are, Chevy. What's going on, Playboy? Jungle is massive. Take care of your dog. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. I sent your poster. I've got 4 posters in stock. If you guys don't know, I have 4 posters because I had to order posters because 2 or 3 people got posters, and I have 4 posters in stock right now. And I don't ever have these posters in stock. I usually have to order them. And so let me show you what I'm talking about. I have 4 of these in stock right now. 4 in stock right now. Yeah, there it is. Jungle is Massive has one. And I have 4 of these in tubes that I can, right there. Boom, right there. That I have those right now in stock, ready to go. You got to go to deletelaws.com and get the poster. It has so much stuff on it. It's unbelievable. What is in this poster is unbelievable. All the cases I talk about are on here, but it's, I made this with a buddy of mine years ago, 2021, I believe, 2020, I made this. Yeah. There's the prison graph down here, and then it goes all the way up, and really cool. And then the presidents and their secretaries of state and attorney generals, because they really cost us. Civil rights era, Terry versus Ohio, the cases that are spilled. Illinois versus Gates is spilled from Terry versus Ohio. Cortez versus United States, where you can use the individual, the circumstances, you build up a bunch of little circumstances to create reasonable suspicion. Tennessee versus Garner, we talked about earlier tonight. You could shoot someone when they're running. Wilson versus Arkansas, they can no-knock raid your home anytime they want. These 3 cases go together: U.S. versus Lopez, U.S. versus Morrison, and Gonzalez versus Reich. So they used the Commerce Clause here that said that you couldn't use the Commerce Clause to regulate firearms in United States versus Lopez, and you couldn't use the Commerce Clause in United States versus Morrison for Violence Against Women's Act, and they struck them down. And this was for medicinal Mary Jane. And both of these 2 opposed each other on these 2 cases, but then they voted together in 2005 to make sure that there would be no legal Mary in the country. Mont versus United States, 2019. This case is based off Terry versus Ohio. Cops can beat you up on your own porch if they have reasonable articulable suspicion. Mont versus United States. Gonzalez versus Castle Rock, cops have no duty to protect you. 2013, Florida versus Harris, a dog barking is probable cause. The standard for the 4th Amendment, that no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause. A dog barking in the 2013 case of Florida versus Harris means that it's probable cause. Wren versus United States, 1996, any traffic stop, if you have any valid reason at all for a traffic stop, They went over the fog line, whatever you want to say. You can pull them over based on a pretext that you believe that they're doing something illegal, that criminal activity is. 2001 Atwater versus City of Lago Vista. This is where anything is arrestable. Any infraction of a peace officer in front of them is arrestable. 1989 Graham versus Connor. Use of force will be determined by the reasonable officer on the scene. That's the 1989 case of Graham versus Connor. Objective reasonableness. What they think you did before the encounter and what you could have done during the encounter can be taken into factors. 1990 Sitz versus Michigan State Police. DUI checkpoints are legalized. The Sitz case is an extension of the 1968 case called Terry versus Ohio. Warren versus District of Columbia. The police have no duty to protect you. Warren and her two college roommates were group RAPED. They sure were. And then it went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, nope, the cops had no obligation to protect you. Pennsylvania versus Mims. We all know so much about that, about Pennsylvania versus Mims. 1980 Payton versus New York. This works in your favor, that your home, the line to your home is at your door. So Fourth Amendment would be intact here. Payton versus New York. Houston versus Hill. You are allowed to say anything you want to cops. You're allowed to interrupt cops in 1987 case. Illinois versus Gates. This is where if a confidential informant gives police information about you, they used to have to voir dire both the confidential informant and the information. But now Illinois versus Gates, stretching off Terry versus Ohio, any information given about you can be investigated, and it's not a violation of your Fourth Amendment right. Cortez versus United States. We talked about that one. South Dakota versus Opperman came up in this video tonight that said that it's not searching your car, it's inventorying your car. That's all it is. That's all. They're not really searching it, they're inventorying it for you. 1971 Coolidge versus New Hampshire. The plain view doctrine will be created from Coolidge versus New Hampshire. This is where they get a warrant to go in Coolidge's place, and they don't list that they're looking for a firearm. And so because they find a firearm, they didn't have a warrant for it because the Fourth Amendment says specifically what you're looking for in a house, place, or location. And so he wins. So 1971, this happens. 1979, the FBI produces the plain view doctrine. Anything you see in with your naked eye can be used. 1970 Controlled Substance Act. This is the beginning of the war on drugs right here, because in 71 Nixon will declare war on drugs. The 1961 Single Convention on Narcotics. This was held by Harry Anslinger, where he invited everybody from what is now what you would now consider NATO. And the 1961, the WHO, maybe you heard of them, the World Health Organization, they came to the Single Convention on Narcotics, drugs, and they said that Mary Jane should be eradicated from the planet within 25 years. So by 1985, it was supposed to be gone. It was supposed to be completely eradicated from Earth. It had no medicinal rewards. And then the WHO backed up Harry Anslinger and his list of propagandists to shut down the hemp and oil industry. See, these guys down here, Andrew Mellon, DuPont, Harry Anslinger, the newspaper guy, whatever, John D. Rockefeller. These guys colluded together. Andrew Carnegie, they colluded together. And then down here, Woodrow Wilson, who's going to declare both the Espionage Act and the Sedition Act, which will criminalize free speech, 1918 and 1919. So that's what he's going to do. Hoover, originally Hoover was the guy who brought in J. Edgar Hoover, but really after that he partnered with Coolidge, much more. Let me think. Sorry about that. And then all the civil rights leaders, and each one of them has a story that goes into death. And I don't want to talk about death right now. That'll mess me up. But then, you get back into the Supreme Court cases on the poster, Brinegar versus United States. This is the first place where I ever heard them come up with the term reasonable cause to believe. Reasonable cause to believe. And this is where the cops can go into your home without a warrant if they just believe that there's criminal activity afoot. And that's going to be really carried over in Kerr versus California, 1963, where the cops don't need a warrant to go into your house. They can just knock on your door and then kick that door right in. They don't need a warrant at all as long as they believe that there's criminal activity afoot. Miranda versus Arizona, you know what this case is, your Miranda rights, where you have your Miranda rights. Same thing with United States versus Guest. This is where, they have to let you know that they're investigating you in the airport. They can't just take you and arrest you. Katz versus United States. This is where you have a reasonable expectation to privacy in some areas. This particular case was about having expectation of privacy in a telephone booth, and that they wouldn't bug it, but they did. Spinelli versus United States, 1969. This couples with Illinois versus Gates here. So in 1983, it overruled the 1969 case of Spinelli versus United States. And what Spinelli does is it makes the Spinelli-Aguilar test. If a confidential informant gives them information about you, then they have to voir dire both the confidential informant and, because one painter could say the painter across the street's a chemical dealer and ruin his business. And so this created a two-prong effect called the Spinelli-Aguilar test. Well, in 1983, Illinois versus Gates, they then said, no, Terry versus Ohio means reasonable articulable suspicion. So anybody giving you information is investigatable. Yes, it is. It happened to me. Loving versus Virginia, this is going to overturn the 1883 case of Pace versus Alabama. 1883, going to be back here somewhere, right here. Pace, this case right here. So Pace versus Alabama in 1883, this case criminalized interracial marriage. You weren't allowed to have a partner of any other skin except for your own color. So then Loving versus Virginia in 1967 is going to overturn that case. The same thing earlier, we talked about Katz versus United States, where it's going to make it so you do have some expectation of privacy in communications, so that your phone today is safe because of your iPhone is safe now today because of Katz. That's what holds it. But this case overturned the 1928 case of Olmstead versus United States. And this is where William Howard Taft is going to be the Supreme Court Chief Justice, this man here. And he's going to say that civil liberties be damned. We'll tap into any phone we want and get information. And that is going to hold. They can tap into any phone they want using the phone company from 1928 all the way until 1967, until Katz. Shelley versus Kramer. This is great because this is going to outlaw racial restrictive covenants. And Shelley versus Kramer is going to overrule the 19. It's on here somewhere. But that's the whole point. Sorry, I don't mean to bore you guys with education, but I have 4 of those posters in stock. There's only 4 of the big ones that I have, so I have 4 of those in stock if you guys want one. So this poster, though, a lot of people ask me where to start. There's a digital copy of this on my website as well for like $20 or something. If you can't afford it, just contact me and I'll email it to you for free. So it's not about withholding the information. I want you guys to learn it. But, this coupled with, Wikipedia, oyays.org, justia.org, you can just start popping the cases in and you'll really start to learn a lot. And these cases I know off the top of my head. I mean, obviously, you're going to forget details as time goes on in life, but there's so much good stuff on here to learn. There's just so many. There's so many cases. Carroll versus United States. This is the root of all evil right here. Carroll versus United States. Oh, and so let me tell you something. See this man right here, Hugo Black? He was appointed to the Supreme Court in 1937 by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. This guy here. But when I was in the dungeon just now for 4 months, I read his biography. I was wrong. Mr. Hugo Black's family, I apologize to you guys. I'm sorry. I was wrong. He changed. He changed who he was. He may have joined the KKK in 1920, but he didn't stay affiliated, or even he didn't stay with the same principles of the KKK at all whatsoever. He completely regretted ever being associated with the KKK, and he if you ever want to see the metamorphosis of a man's life and see them go like this and absolutely change like this, then Hugo Black. Another one is going to be John Harlan Sr. John Harlan Sr. was a slave owner. He owned slaves. Yeah. Supreme Court Justice. I want to say, I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess it up because I have them all memorized, but sometimes when you're on the spot, it'll pop right in my head. But John Harlan Sr., the first one, not John Harlan the second, but he was a slave owner. He completely changed his stripes, completely and utterly changed his stripes. So did Hugo Black. But you know, and I can, you know, I can give you a little bit. Barrera College versus Kentucky. So this is where you kind of have to go in phases back here, because if you don't go in phases, then you don't really. So, you know, 1891 or 1791, you're going to get your Bill of Rights. And then these cases, as you go up the poster, or if you get the digital one from my store, they really go in chronological order, because, you know, you're going to have the Dred Scott case, because this, I mean, whether I like it or not, this whole history, the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment over here, a lot of these characters, all the Supreme Court justices, the way the states shook. So let me try to explain. So when people, I'm not going to justify what I'm going to tell you. I'm just going to tell you. Okay. So our country was built on the premise that slavery would be legitimate. It was in our Constitution, 3/5 compromise. It was written in. The southern states had sovereignty. So everything that our country was based on all the way up until 1964 was based on making sure we could discriminate against Black people. Now, I don't love that, hate it, but that's just the plain simple truth. All the way up till 1964, from like, that's when the Civil Rights Act happened, that actually freed Black people and they could come around and go into all parts of America. So that didn't happen until 1964. Do you understand? So when people say, "Oh, everything's not about race," I don't know what kind of history you learned, but let me just, you know, and this all isn't going to be all about race, but our whole country, all the way up till 1964, a lot of us are just born there or right around there. 1964 was all about being able to discriminate against Black people, whether we like that or not. So it wasn't like, oh, slavery happened, it was over in 1865. Not at all. And this poster kind of illustrates what I'm telling you. When we all have these rights here, and then what happens is slavery's going on. And so then the Dred Scott case, where the Supreme Court says that Black people are property, you can't be in here suing, that causes the Civil War. And if you didn't know that, I can go into a long amount of detail, but this already going to have, if you don't like hearing that, then you don't want me to go into detail about that. So anyway, the Civil War is caused by the Dred Scott case, and John Brown goes and attacks Harper's Ferry, and we go into a Civil War. And that's going to happen from 1861 to 1865. And then these cases right here, these cases, Cruikshank versus United States and the slaughterhouse cases here, these are going to set up our whole history. Like, the 14th Amendment of the United States is going to be completely minimized by the slaughterhouse cases. And let me explain to you what I mean when I tell you that. The slaughterhouse holding is going to make a very, very narrow interpretation that all your rights are applicable and incorporated through the 14th Amendment, which is pretty much what it says and what's happened today. You know, and there's incorporation's a whole nother conversation. But what this did, the slaughterhouse cases, was narrowly interpret the 14th Amendment so you didn't get all your rights. And at the same time, it saved Louisiana. So it's such a strange, but this is based again, once again, this is based on the I mean, I just, I hate to say these things, but I know history. It minimizing the 14th Amendment in the case that only one particular slaughterhouse can have a monopoly on slaughtering pigs. What that did was limited the rights of African Americans, Black people, that the 14th Amendment was created for. So that's what it did. That's why there was, so I don't want to get too lost on that. And then here, Reese is about enforcing upholding the KKK from killing Black people. And then Cruikshank is about when Bill Cruikshank killed a bunch of Black people that, and so then they said, well, you can't, you're not allowed to kill Black people. It violates their civil rights. And Cruikshank was found not guilty. And then that created the lynching graph down here. You have all these lynchings because the Supreme Court said that Blacks didn't have rights like you and I did. You know what I'm saying? If you take a look at Cruikshank here, 1876, and then you go here, 1882, and you take a look at the lynching graph, you start to go, oh, I see. You know, like, it's serious, because the Supreme Court said that not all your rights are only incorporated federally. And then Plessy versus Ferguson creates legal racial segregation. And then Bad Elk versus United States is going to say that Native Americans cannot resist police, that they can be regulated by the police as well, and they cannot resist them. Giles versus Harris and Giles versus Teasley, both of these cases are about not allowing Black people to vote in Alabama. That both of them. The 1911 Sullivan Act is about stripping your gun rights. You weren't allowed to have a gun in New York named after the governor, Tim Sullivan, unless you got a permit, and you had to get it from Tim Sullivan, who was the governor of New York. Barrera versus Kentucky, this is based on Plessy versus Ferguson, 1896, that said that you have to be segregated. You can't have the races in the same area. This was about you couldn't teach Black kids and white kids in the same school, even at different times. Lone Wolf versus Hitchcock. This is where we reneged on the Native American deal that we made. Hendricks versus Maryland. This is your DMV and your automobile laws, that every state has the right to create your automobile laws, where they can create, where you have to get a driver's license right there. Where if people say, why do I have to have a driver's license in America? You're looking at it right there. The 1913 case of Hendricks versus Maryland. This is why you have to have a driver's license in the United States of America. If you don't know the case, then now I just gave you a clue where to look. 1919, this is where you hear that famous saying, you can't scream fire in the middle of a movie theater. This comes from the 1919 case of Sinek versus United States, where Charles Sinek and his wife, Elizabeth Bayer, were handing out pamphlets that said, do not go to war. You're not a slave. Assert your rights. You're free. And that was, I believe it was against the Sedition Act that, again, would be put into law by Woodrow Wilson. He would sign that into law. It was his idea. He was a real tyrant. Remember, he's going to be World War I. So 1915 to 1917 officially. And then the Mary Jane Tax Act. This is rich. If you don't know the history of the Mary Jane Tax Act, I've gone into detail on it several times. But let me tell you how that comes about. That comes about by these guys down here, Andrew Mellon and Lamont DuPont. And these guys had colluded together, the money guy, to create the plastic industry and the pharmaceutical industry. And that crazy stuff called hemp interfered with it. Sir Harry Anslinger set the whole thing up, where, you know, he would lead the Bureau of Narcotics against this hemp industry, because it was really based on jazz musicians and Blacks getting high. So that's where that came. That's where that idea came from. So where am I at? Okay, Corrigan versus Buckley. Okay, so this is great because you can see them both in the same frame. Corrigan versus Buckley created racial restrictive covenants in the United States where you could not buy a house next in a black neighborhood and they couldn't buy one in a white neighborhood. This created legal racial covenants, racial restrictive covenants where black people couldn't live. Shelley versus Kramer in just 22 years later overturned that, which is super fast. So Caroline Products, this case right here, this is from the famous footnote number 4, that the interpretation of the Constitution could be scrutinized in a strict scrutiny, medium scrutiny, low scrutiny. You know, how scrutinized would the Constitution be from footnote number 4? And I believe that's going to be from Harlan Stone, that he wrote footnote number 4. Later, he'll be Chief Supreme Court Justice. He'll be promoted. Lum versus Rice. This is where Asian kids couldn't go to school with white kids in Alabama. And then they found in favor that that was true because Plessy versus Ferguson created legal segregation. This was a free speech case about communism and De Jong, where they wanted to have a communist party, a socialist party, and it was ruled illegal. And then they went to court and they won. So that's what did that. United States versus Miller. This is what strips away your gun rights, or really until the 2008 case of Heller versus District of Columbia. United States versus Miller was the law of the land, that the states could take away your gun rights. And this is based on the 1929 St. Valentine's Day Massacre. When Prohibition was still going on, the two rival mobs, the Al Capone and Lucky Luciano, they opposed one another. And so then the cops were the biggest alcohol swindlers they were. What happened was a bunch of gangsters got mowed down by sawed-off shotguns. So United States versus Miller is going to create the gun regulations all the way, the gun law. I mean, this is what created the right of the government to do what they do with our guns until Heller versus District of Columbia in 2008. So if you don't know about that, the National Firearms Act upheld in United States versus Miller. But this case here is going to be based on the 1929, the Boggs Act. This is where they criminalized hemp again. And they said you would get 10 years in prison if you had anything to do with that Mary girl. 10 years in prison for a single J. You would go to jail for 10 years. For 10 years. Kent versus Doley. So this works on our side. Found 5-4. 5-4. Kent versus Doley's says that you can still get a passport and travel even if you owe taxes or you're part of a communist party or a socialist party, no matter what your political affiliation, because they denied him because they said he was part of the Communist Party and he got it anyway. Matt versus Ohio. This is what creates fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine, where anything found during a search would be inadmissible if they violated your Fourth Amendment right of illegal search and seizure, unreasonable search and seizure without a proper warrant. Brown versus Board of Education is what desegregated America, this case right here. And this case was led by Thurgood Marshall, Supreme Court Justice till 1991, the first black Supreme Court Justice. And he led the charge on getting America desegregated. It's a whole nother story going into Thurgood Marshall's biography, which I read also in jail. So then Shelley versus Kramer, we talked about that. We talked a little bit about the model penal code earlier, but we didn't go into the dates. Written from 1952 to 1962 by Harry Blackman and a guy named Waxman, I think his name. He's on this he's here. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now for some reason. But the model penal code written from 1952 to 1962 creates the criminal codes in most states today. It was written by a couple of judges. Griswold versus Connecticut. This is what makes it for you can have legal contraception for women. The birth control pill is created by the 1965 case, and they invoke the Ninth Amendment. And the Ninth Amendment are rights that you may not know that you have, but you will need. Unenumerated rights is your Ninth Amendment. A lot of people don't know about your Ninth Amendment. It's the founding fathers said, well, what about in the future if you can go to Mars and you got to leave Earth because Earth is going to, melt down into 1,000 pieces and everybody's going to die. And so then our founding fathers said, well, we have unenumerated rights that we don't know we need yet. And so that is what Griswold versus Connecticut, they're going to quote the 9th Amendment in that. And so and as you know, we have the 3 branches of the government, the executive, the judicial, and the congressional. So those are, and these are your civil rights acts. And why do these civil rights acts, why are they on here? Why do they matter? If you check this line right here, we got 13th, 14th, and 15th down here. And then down here, we have civil rights acts. And why do these matter so much? Well, I explained it to you. The 1964 Civil Rights Act is what actually gave Black people the right to live anywhere they wanted in the United States. We were completely a racist country, all the racist to the bone until 1964. The government literally would not let Black people live. There was redlining, all this crazy shit. The 1965 Voting Rights Act, the 1968, I think this is your right to where you can live, because redlining had happened. The 1968 Civil Rights Act, your living accommodations and stuff like that. Because we and a lot of people say, and as you guys know, I am not a raging liberal. When I started to teach these things on TikTok, some specific members of BLM decided to call me racist because I taught civil liberties and the history of an institutionally racist country, even though the people have not been racist. Our government has been institutionally racist, and a lot of these laws here that I've showed you today are based completely on racism, whether I like it or not. You can get this poster on my website on deletelaws.com, deletelaws.com with a Z. If you can't afford it, I'll give it to you for free. I'll email it to you for free. Just contact me. But if you can afford it, you should, this is how I make money. So you should buy it. But you'll learn an absolute ton of information. There's so much on here. If you just, Roe versus Wade again, this is also where they're going to invoke the 9th Amendment. Johnson versus Glick right here. This is your incarceration laws here that you're not supposed to, as you know, the what's supposed to happen is the congressional branch, they write laws, and then the executive, they sign a law into effect. So your local state legislature writes laws, and then the governor signs those laws into effect. These guys, their job is to determine whether or not a law is constitutional or not constitutional. That's what the 3 branches of government are supposed to do. So then right here in Johnson versus Glick, this is going to create that you can't file for your rights being violated in a jail unless it was a cruel and unusual punishment created by the jail. Okay. So what does that mean exactly? That means that Johnson versus Glick, what it does. So for example, if I'll give you a recent case. I just don't know the name of the case off the top of my head. There were prisoners in Alabama that for a punishment, they were handcuffed to a pole that was outside, and the pole itself in the summer heat, the pole would get blazing hot. And the Alabama inmates were burning their arms and their legs on this pole that they would chain them to this pole. And that was a punishment. So they sued for their civil liberties being violated, and they won because they were being punished within the jail. And the punishment that was happening to them is they were getting 3rd-degree burns on their arms and legs. So that's the definition of cruel and unusual punishment under the 8th Amendment. What Johnson versus Glick does is it says that if the guards hurt you in the manner of keeping order and not when you're being punished, you can't file a 1983. You can't file an 8th Amendment violation for your rights being violated because the guards were just keeping order. Do you see? If the guards do something and they say that they're punishing you, then if it's cruel and inhumane, your punishment, then you have an 8th Amendment violation. But if the guards say, hey, we're taking you from this bigger cell and we're putting you in this little tiny cell, but you're not in trouble, then that's not cruel and unusual punishment putting you in solitary confinement. Because they were just moving you. It wasn't a punishment. It was administrative to run the jail properly. You see? So it's Johnson versus Glick works against the people, works against liberty for sure. Graham versus Connor creates your use of force. Roe versus Wade has been overturned. this again invoked your Ninth Amendment for rights you didn't know you had. And then I went over Warren versus District of Columbia, Cortez, South Dakota, Coolidge, substance abuse program here. Let me see something here. Wilson versus Arkansas. Okay. So again, Wilson was a black guy that lost the case. And what this case says is that police cannot no-knock raid your house, that it is unconstitutional for the police to no-knock raid your house in America unless it's in the name of officer safety. Terry versus Ohio. Wilson versus Arkansas, the jurisprudence of it is based on the 1968 case of Terry versus Ohio. So why did I put Trump versus Hawaii on here? I can't remember the exact reason why, but there was a reason I put it on here. I just can't remember. I only read the case a couple times. Arizona versus Johnson. This is on your trifold, and I think it's on your cop card as well. Arizona versus Johnson is the 2009 case that says if the driver is being pulled over and detained, that you also are detained, and that the cop can order you out of the car in the name of officer safety. The Arizona versus Johnson case is based on Terry versus Ohio. Gonzalez versus Castle Rock. I don't know if you know this story or not, but Mrs. Gonzalez had 3 children with a man, and then they separated. I don't think they're ever married. And then Mrs. Gonzalez got a restraining order on that man. And then she called the police from her job as a waitress and said, I'm very afraid my ex-husband or my ex-partner is going to go to my house and hurt my children. And I have a restraining order against him. Can you go over there and look out for my children? And the police said, no, we don't have to do that. Well, I mean, if you don't know the story, it's a sad one, because the husband, the ex-partner, then goes over to Mrs. Gonzalez's house and he takes her 3 daughters and he drives to the police department and he has a shootout with the police in the police department, but he kills the 3 daughters who are in the back seat. He kills the 3 of them. So then Mrs. Gonzalez sues the police department for not protecting her children because she called 911 and said, my ex-husband is threatening to hurt my children and I have a restraining order against him and I'm not home and they're home alone. And the police said, tough titty, our job's not to protect you. And then when it went to the Supreme Court in Gonzalez versus Castle Rock, they then found against Gonzalez and said, the police have no obligation to keep you or your family safe. So there is that. Is there any I did not cover on here? Buck versus Bell. Oh yeah, this is a tough one. This is really bad because Carrie Bell was called an imbecile. She was called a moron. Like she was like so dumb she couldn't function, and so they sterilized her. And they sterilized her mother and they sterilized her grandmother. They sterilized all 3 of the family members. And what this case does is it outlines the way the state can sterilize you if you are incarcerated. It still stands today. Buck versus Bell is still the rule of law today, which again should not have been created by a bunch of justices. The 1914 Harrison Act, this is what creates your pharmaceutical requirement. The Harrison Act created where you would have to get your prescription. You have to get a prescription to get that. I told you with the Hodge, Giles, Bad Elk, Teasley, Barrera College, Lone Wolf Hendrick, Mary Jane Act, Cruikshank, Reese, Slaughterhouse cases. Plessy versus Ferguson, if you don't know, this is the case that creates legal racial segregation, where you can be segregated based and you will be segregated based on race, but it would create the separate but equal doctrine where you would same drinking fountain, equal facilities, but separated. But that wasn't true. That wasn't true at all. It was not at all. It was not at all. Marbury versus Madison is what creates the Supreme Court as being the arbitrator of determining if state laws written are constitutional or not. It's really what gives the Supreme Court its teeth and its power in overseeing the legislators and the executives of the states to determine what is constitutional and not constitutional. It's called judicial review. Martin versus Hunter's Lisi. This is where they said that only the federal government could determine land, if land could be seized or not. And then Johnson versus McIntosh. This was the case about. I often get these two confused, just so you know, because when I was researching them and reading them, I often get them confused all the time. So I guess what we could do real quick, since I'm just kind of just talking here about that poster, let's go like this, just real quick, and just take a look and go Johnson versus McIntosh. Let's just real quick. Let me share this with you guys what I'm watching.
Legal opinions don't affect you. The United States Supreme Court's 1823 decision in Johnson versus McIntosh may change your mind. Right now, you're sitting on a piece of land owned by some person or entity. That owner obtained it from the prior owner, who got it from the prior owner, and so on, in what's called a chain of title. If you went to your local Register of Deeds office, you'd probably find that the land was first deeded by the United States government or by a state government. But what about land grants that go back even further than that? Prior to 1773, Native American tribes controlled large amounts of land in what's now southern Illinois. Between 1773 and 1775, Thomas Johnson purchased large tracts of land from a number of tribes. Johnson died in 1819. His interest in the land passed to his son Joshua Johnson and grandson Thomas Graham. In 1818, the United States deeded nearly 12,000 acres to William McIntosh, including the land purchased by Johnson. Johnson and Graham sought an ejectment order against McIntosh in the United States District Court for the District of Illinois. The District Court ruled for McIntosh. Johnson and Graham appealed directly to the United States Supreme Court.
Yeah, I hate videos like that do that. At the end, so it's property law that only the government, that you have to get your land from the government, something like that. I don't want to mess it up again, because the one time I messed it up, I had someone make a video about me and say how I was such a moron. I was so dumb. Now I'm afraid to say anything wrong. So let me share this with you guys. So on this here, I often just tell people, when you get this, if you don't know every single part of this, then you should know every single thing on here. I mean, that's why I'll give it to you for free if you can't afford it. If you don't got the $20, I think I sell it for $20 or something. But the breakup of Standard Oil, that has a ton to do with the 1914 Harrison Act. These two are so connected. The breakup of Standard Oil made it so that you had 7 families, and none of them wanted to see hemp gain any traction in an energy field. So the 1914 Harrison Act was supposed to stop the expansion of hemp, because you had to get a permit to grow hemp, which today we know as Mary Jane. And then here along this right here, if you get the PDF version, it's on your poster as well, is every single president that we had: George Washington, John Adams, the who they were there, and what their representation was. I memorized these a lot better when I was in the dungeon. I spent a lot of time on them, memorizing the presidents. William Henry Harrison, you often forget him because he's only president for a month. So you forget William Henry Harrison. And then, these down here, those were huge. This is the lynching graph down here. So if you want to know how many people were lynched each year, and these are the NAACP numbers, just so you know, these numbers are not accurate. I mean, they're not. I'm not saying their numbers are completely inaccurate. There was a lot more lynchings. I mean, a lot more prior to 1880. When did they start keeping track? 1882. So if you see the jump here, I'll explain this to you. So you see this jump here. So these are white people lynched, and these are black people lynched, white people lynched, black, and these are the year they were lynched. So if you take a look at this in 1884, you go, man, it went from 77 white people lynched in 1883, according to the NAACP, to 160 people lynched in 1884. Why would there be such a gigantic jump between 1883 and 1884? And even 1885, you're still having 110 white people lynched, which is a big jump. Well, it directly correlates with the 1883 case of Pace versus Alabama that criminalized interracial marriage and interracial relationships. That's the correlation between the lynching graph and Pace versus Alabama. The Supreme Court says this is illegal, and so because it's illegal, we're going to take you out and string you up. And then look at this. And so then when you get to 1890, look at the drop off in white lynchings. It goes from 76 to 11, and that's the lowest number by far for white lynchings. And then you go, well, why in 1890 is there so few lynchings? So then you go over here and you go to your presidents here, and you go right here. So when Benjamin Harrison came into office, 1889, what was his big thing? He didn't want to see white people getting lynched. So everything on here correlates together. There's, and this number is wrong. It's officially, just so you know, it was 1916 to 1917. If you go by the acts of Congress and when we declared war against Germany, we didn't declare war until Germany, I believe it was 1916. And I know that we ended the war in 1917. We were done. We won. We beat them by 1917. Now, the war, some people will tell you, is 1915 to 1919. I mean, not according to the documents. And this is what's going to come out in Constitutional Law Scholar, the board game I have coming out, because there's so many details to history that I've read through the years that are just, so yeah, go to deletelaws.com and get one of these copies if you have it. If you don't have it, then email me at dlzclips@gmail and say, hey, can you email me a copy of that PDF? I only have 4 that are printed. I have 4 that are printed and in tubes that I can send now, but they're like $99. So I understand that's expensive, but I have 4 in tubes. Jungle is Massive was in here. It took me like 3 weeks to get him his tube because I had to order them from the shop that I ordered them from. So yeah. So final thoughts. Apree is an activist and he's an actor. And if I could give me some positive thoughts and hopes and prayers for Charlie. I'm really, really worried about him. Aw, thank you, Chevy. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. He's laying right here, but I don't want to like hold him up like he's a prop, because he's not, and I've been just crying and crying and crying and crying. I've been crying. You can see my eyes are all effed up. I've been crying. I thought he was going to die yesterday. I don't want to sit here and cry. I said I wasn't even going to mention up or bring it up or anything because I will sit here and just start crying again because I love him with all my heart. I think everybody loves their dog, right? Who doesn't love their dog? And I mean, I slept right with him, all balled up with him and just making sure he was breathing. And tomorrow we get the ultrasound in the morning. So I'm really, really, really nervous because the spleen, he said, he's concerned. Doesn't matter what we do. So anyway, whatever. Thanks, Sherry, for throwing in. Put OTVO in the comment section if you would please, which stands for Overturn Terry versus Ohio. I really like his humor. Listen, to Apree, my friend, no matter what anybody says about you, I know, and so many people here know what you offer. The people who understand what you're doing are more than grateful to you, dude. I put money in your GoFundMe. I did. I put money in your GoFundMe. So, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the level I respect you. You know, you're a physical specimen, and you're smart, and you're talented. So if anybody sees this and they say, "Oh, to Apree was saying," take that clip right there. Yeah, to Apree is smart, talented, and good at being an activist, and very good at being an actor. So if I can put a nice bow on that, Javro. You guys, get my poster. Get my poster. I think I charge $20, and then I think it's $30 to get it printed out at your local store, to be honest with you. Let me see what I have it for online real quick. And if it's expensive, I'll lower it down. I'll put the price at least $20. Let me see. Let me go to shop now. I don't even know my own website. That is a timeline poster. It's $99. I have 4 of those in stock. Oh, I only have, oh shit. Hold on 1 second. Shoot. Oh my gosh. Let me get that on there. Hey, please get the Galaxy poster online as a PDF for $20. ... Pretty please. As soon as possible. So the Galaxy poster wasn't even available, only the $99 was. I have one for $20, which is, but then you can really learn a lot of stuff. You will learn a lot of stuff if you have the poster. Is it really not on there? There's 99, 24, 99. No way, it's not on there. Holy bejesus. I'm so glad I just checked that. Wow. I'm super lucky. Wow, I cannot believe it. AMG. Love you too. Love Charlie. I'm really stressed out. I'm really stressed out about it. I'm out of sorts, and my teeth are broken, and they're going to be broken for a week. So, when it rains, it pours. There's nothing. There's nothing I can do about it. Thanks so much. I appreciate your support. Thanks, you guys. Yeah, Charlie chat. Yeah, this was a good one. I had a good time here talking to you guys. This was fun to have this conversation, especially, reviewing to Apree. Like, I have watched all of his videos already. I've seen every video on his page. So like, I'm a huge fan. Bill, good to see you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Kurt's good to see you. Jilly, what is going on? What does her being a JW have to do with it? I don't know. Wanda Meese was here. End quality menu. Good to see you, Wanda. Thanks for coming. Gates, what's going on? Glenn, what's going on? Anthony, how are you? Todd. Hey, Todd. How you doing? Yeah, I'm Gummy. Arr. I don't care. We don't stop. Listen, you guys, Stomper, thanks for coming. Brick, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Kinetic Customs and Racing, thanks for coming. Roy, Rudy, Gates, Bree, what is going on? Frank, nice to see you. Thank you guys all for coming. Thanks for the super chats. Mystery, thank you for the super chat. AMG Chevy. I saw Jeff Hates Pigs in here earlier. So I'm only a week away from having a much better space in the world. I hope that my dog makes it. So anyway, listen, I love you guys. Thanks for coming. I'll see you on the next one. Mikey B. Later, Gators.